my TV here.
Somebody's saying that there's charges for somebody. You see that? Ready, go to her page and you can see the charges or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Are we live? I don't see the timer going.
It says we're live. Yep. 23.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, everybody, welcome. As you can see, we are live. my screen is really delayed. I mean, it's probably a minute delayed. So anyway, but I do see a lot of comments in the chat. So welcome, everybody. And we have Toddy One-Skip with us today. And I'm
Hey,
Kathy.
everybody. Hey, everybody.
Yep. Good to see everybody.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
Thanks for being here.
Not a problem.
Okay, well, let's see who's in the chat. We'll just
You got ready?
Yeah, we got ready. Red is ready.
Yep, we got Grace. We got Florida. Florida Life in the Sun. We got Pam Tucker. Up yours. Up your who cares? I like that. Up yours. Who cares? I like that.
Oh, that's a friend of mine. Let me see. I think that's a friend of mine because he changed his name. Where? Oh, yeah, he is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Friend from another country. Hello, up yours. Yep.
And we got Nin Infamous. Nin Infamous.
Oh, yes, my other friend from another country. Good to see you.
And
good to see her too.
Kathleen Strickler.
Yep. And we got
Carol.
Yep. And Hellraiser. Got Hellraiser in here. Florida Life in the Sun, January Larry. Yep. Grace, my moderator in there. Thanks for being here, Grace. Ridiculous, Pam Tucker,
Jody.
Mrs. Robinson.
Who? How about Jody Ann? Jody Ann.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Red Frog. I like that name. Jenny. Brenda. Got a lot of friends in here.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, welcome everybody. All right, well, this should be a very interesting, worthwhile chat to be in today because, we're going to talk about a couple things. So where should we start? Let's start at the beginning.
First thing I need to start with is an apology. That's the first thing. So I got...
Okay, go ahead.
I got the wrong information. Hey, Grace, I got the wrong information, and I want to say it out loud to everybody. Apparently, the Whitakers did not get paid. I was given the wrong information, and I checked it to the best of my ability, but you'll find out why I believe it was the wrong information now. But I apologize. You know, I mean, I don't live there, and I would never try to intentionally give wrong information. I got the email. And I don't know why I was told an untruth, but unfortunately I was, and I apologize for that. And I just want to say that publicly, that I was told an untruth. And but that person sent me a lot of stuff that wasn't. So but still, I think that Kathy has more valid information, to be honest with you. So I'm going to just say that.
Okay, well, thank you for that. So I just wanted to let everybody know, like some of you do know that a while back, BJ reached out to me, BJ Whitaker reached out to me, and we exchanged phone numbers. Okay, so she asked for my phone number and I gave her mine, and so we have each other's phone numbers. And with all this, all these things, I haven't called there recently, but with everything going on and things that don't seem to make sense, I did call them this morning. And this morning, Larry picked up the phone. So I did talk to Larry Whitaker this morning. Myself, all right, directly on the phone, because he's the one that answered it. And so I'm not going to tell you really what we talked about, but I will say a couple things. One, he wants people to know he did not get paid. They didn't get a penny.
See how I knew they probably didn't get paid? Because Larry told her that they didn't get paid.
Yeah. Larry told me that he did not get paid. They haven't seen a penny. And one of the things that I wanted to clear up with him, so far they haven't gotten anything. He was not happy that people think he did because they're upset obviously, that they haven't gotten paid. And so,
I
yeah.
definitely think that was made to make us think that they got paid, but
Mm-hmm.
he's saying he did not get paid a dime, and that he wants everybody to know that he has not been paid. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have to, I mean, that's what he said. I believe that he didn't get paid. So anyway, go ahead, Kathy. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, we want to clear that up first because that's kind of an easy one.
Right.
And like I said, I won't even get into what we talked about because it's private. But I did ask him. So was Betty on a live stream last night? And he said no. I said, is she out of town right now? He said no. She's in bed. She's been in bed sick for days. So, Betty was not on a live stream last night, and she's not out of town like they said. So last night, Lady K went live, and they pretended like Betty was talking to everybody. Remember that? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, I just know that people were saying that something about like that somebody was saying that Lady K was speaking to Betty about thank you for the hearts or something. Somebody sent me something like that.
Yeah, they were acting like I didn't watch the whole thing, and I was shocked to see that Patrick was up there chumming it up with everybody. Like, wait a minute, Patrick owes. How can you be Team Whitaker when you're sitting there being buddies with Patrick when he's helped create this mess and he hasn't paid them anyway? Yeah, so I said, well, everybody was told that she was out of town. He said, no, she's not out of town. She's in the back room. And I said, well, yeah, we didn't want to wake her up, but she is there. And she's been sick in bed. So she's not out somewhere. And she was not on a live stream last night. So they pretended that they were talking to her and sending purple hearts to her and all this big conversation. That never happened. He said, no, that didn't happen.
So I don't see him being dishonest about that. I would have to believe.
No.
Why would he tell an untruth?
No, he didn't even know what I was talking about. I said, where's Betty? He said, she's in bed. I said, was she out of town? She said, no. No.
Amy, how many times are you going to say that you're going to try to incite something? I saw it. I mean, do you want me to respond? I mean, you put it in there twice. I already saw it, so you don't have to put it in there again. This is Kathy's live stream. It's Kathy's live stream. So if you Amy, Kathy, I've seen it. I see what you're saying. I'm not fighting about it, but I'm not going to keep seeing it 3 and 4 and 5 times. I saw it. I recognize it. I don't agree with it, but I'm sorry, Kathy.
No, that's okay. Amy, you got a warning, okay? Because Grace is there, and she will use her wrench. First, people get timed out, okay? And then after that, if you keep trying to be trouble, she'll block you. So, but you'll get a timeout next time if you're trying to. We're trying to get to the bottom of something here, okay? And last night, we were told that on Lady K's, Betty was going to be on the live stream. And then when they started the live stream, it was a short recording of Betty saying, leave my family alone. And that was supposed to be her. And then,
let me tell you, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
We've seen that. We have actually seen her say that on somebody's video. So that must have been taken from just an audio taken from somebody's video. Have you guys ever seen her say, leave my family alone? It was after, and I'm pretty sure it was Patrick's video or Brian Cody's video. It was on the porch, and she had said it was afterwards. It was after they were taking, Layla's saying,
yep.
So there are people that said that. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. And did you guys see last night when they were pretending to talk to Betty? Because she wasn't on there. They don't even get internet at their house.
That's correct, right?
So there's no way she could have. And she's not been out of town. So it's just been one lie after the next. And then she took that video down and hid it. So yeah.
You could pay $150 to see what now? That video? Are you kidding? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I think that, well,
Somebody's saying no, you can pay $149.99 to see it now. I wonder if that's what they're talking about. Yes, that's what Reddy's saying. Yes.
is everything have to be about money?
That's crazy.
Yeah. What's up? So who is there? Oh, Lady K is charging $150. Oh man. Oh my goodness. But anyway, that one's gone. I don't know if it's on members only or what, but yeah, so you guys saw it last night, right? I didn't stay for it because after I saw it was a recording and they were pretending to put, oh Betty, they love the purple hearts. Betty, what's your favorite color, Betty? Oh, it's purple? Okay. Everybody put purple hearts in the chat. Oh, Betty says she loves the hearts.
Yeah, I heard that people, I heard that was what was being said, but I my word, I did not watch it. I didn't watch it. I didn't trust it. I didn't watch it. And I didn't want to be triggered.
Right. Yeah, I watched a little bit, and then they had Patrick up there talking about an ice challenge or something stupid. I'm thinking, what? Now she's talking to him? Oh, that's enough. I told my friend, I'm out. Yeah, it does get more embarrassing by the minute. So yeah, that was all a lie last night. Because no, I talked to them myself today. Like I said, BJ reached out to me and gave me her phone number, and she's got mine. She's welcome to call me at any time, and I'm welcome to call her. But today I happened to talk to Larry.
Yeah, and it wasn't so that she could, listen, we know that there's a lot of phone calls going through. I mean, there's a lot of phone calls going through there, but I mean, Kathy had BJ reach out to her.
Right.
So, just so you guys understand that she didn't go looking up a number. BJ sent her a message with her number and asked her to please call her. And they played phone tag a couple times.
Yep.
And that was a while ago. And with everything that's going on now and what we saw as like red flags, she just called for BJ, but Larry answered. So
yeah,
because I don't want anybody thinking, oh well, she called and she's getting in the middle of stuff. BJ reached out to Kathy first, just like some people reach out to me.
Okay, I just accidentally got the wrong person. I got Jenny instead. Trying to get Amy because now she's causing more trouble. Sorry, Jenny. We're going to get you back here. The thing moved up and I hit the wrong person. So
yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, if I can make this thing stop. All right. I don't think Grace can undo that because I did it. Hold on, Jenny. I'm coming to get you. Hang on.
I've been talking, by the way, I've been talking about Gypsy Rose for about 2.5 years, so I don't know where that came from, but whatever. If you read what this person wrote, they were like, they liked me until I started talking about Gypsy Rose. I was talking about Gypsy Rose, basically on my other channel you could go look. I've been following that story since she's been before she got out of prison, I believe. Anyway, I don't care.
Shoot, I just kind of screwed up there. Jenny, could you try to write something in the chat so I make sure that you're unblocked? Yeah, sorry about that, Jenny. I didn't mean to get you. I meant to put the other one, Amy, in timeout because we're not here to fight about that. We're trying to get to the bottom of something here.
I want to know what people I destroyed. Why don't you write to me instead of doing this in this woman's chat? Why don't you just write to me or get on my thread, Amy, instead of Kathy's? I mean, you're supposed to be somebody who respects Kathy. So we're asking you nicely, leave me out of this and listen to Kathy. It's her chat. Why are you going to hurt her? I'm sorry, Kathy. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's all right. No, that's
we
all
have
right.
a
I'm
troll
just
in
trying
here.
to.
A troll in here. I've destroyed a bunch of people's lives. I'd like to see proof of that, but okay. I don't want it to be about me, Kathy, but I don't want to keep looking at the same down. I'll just look. I'm not looking at the chat anymore. So
All right. I hope. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're on block, Jenny. Good, good. Okay, that's all. That's all I worried about. Okay, we can see you, Jenny. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to get you. No, I meant to get somebody else, and it spun up, and I hit the wrong one. So she's okay. She's back. Welcome back, Jenny.
welcome back, Jenny.
Yeah. So, and this is the type of distractions that I don't know. I think people play games and they want to
Distract from what's at hand here.
right, because this is pretty darn important. Listen, they went on there and somebody's saying that she was on Patrick's phone. Really? So she went up to Patrick's house? Because didn't Patrick go live himself on that same phone in his house? You tell me Betty got out of bed sick and walked up to his house? Yeah. That doesn't sound very it doesn't sound very believable. No, I asked if she was on a live stream last night and he said no. He at first didn't even know what I was talking about. I said, was she talking on the phone on a live stream? No. No, she's not out of town.
She's not out of town at all.
No, he says she's right here, but she's sleeping. Yeah. So no, she's not out of town, and no, she's not on a live stream last night. Yeah, darn right. Patrick would have put Betty on just like she did Kenny. Yeah. So what? They got two phones, and she walked up there sick, and used a second phone up there. That makes no sense. Yeah, we can see your comments.
Wait a minute. Why would Larry lie?
Right. And why would Larry lie? He didn't even know why I was asking. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, he's got no reason to lie.
I don't think it was AI. I think it was a clip, Honore. I had your name once before, and you know it's been a minute since I've said it. But she said those exact words after they were taken, and I think somebody just grabbed that clip. But why lie and say somebody's out of town? I mean, why would Larry say, no, she's in the bed sleeping? I mean, you would think that it would make sense for him to say, if he was going to lie, no, she's out of town, so that nobody comes by and bothers. Not that she's in there sleeping and sick. I mean, she is sick. And there's another thing going on. Just have you seen the thing from Facebook where that woman looks like Betty Whitaker? Her name is Bonnie. It's not Betty Whitaker dancing in some place, just so that you guys know.
Oh, I didn't see that. I thought you were talking about the other thing about Eric.
No, there is a video of a woman named Bonnie who looks just like Betty. And she's dancing around, and a few people think it's Betty because it looks like her, but it's not. Her name is Bonnie, and there's people that actually know her. I'll send you that later. I'll send you, but a few people have sent that to me saying that that's Betty, and I said it's not Betty. So
yeah, no, he says she's been in bed sick. She's not feeling well.
Well, she might be very ill, Grace, but she ain't in Georgia, according to her brother.
No, she has not left the house. No, she's not. And we were told that yesterday that she was out of town and that she was on the live stream and she was commenting and loving the hearts and asking what her favorite color is, and she said purple. So
that's
they gave her.
Yeah, that's misleading.
Well, they're pretending she's there and she wasn't. And yeah, I know. Why would Larry lie? He wouldn't lie about that because he really didn't even know. Why would she be on a live stream? It was confusing to him, but he said no. No, I said, was she on a phone? Was she Was she gone that? No, she didn't leave. She's been there. Yep. Yep. Yeah, beyond misleading. It's flat out like they acted like she was there and she wasn't.
Yeah, that's not misleading. That's an untruth for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And yeah,
Thanks, Grace.
she took that yes, they do kind of, they complain about me and then they take my content and use it for 2 hours in each stream, you know.
And it's probably monetized.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it costs money to watch it now.
Well, I think that we have an answer to why, Red. Reddy's asking, why would Elizabeth deliberately lie? Didn't she say something? And don't we have something that Eric said? I mean, that stuff was online. That stuff was online, right?
You mean his ex-wife?
No, I'll text you. I'll text it to you. Are you able to read the text while you're doing this?
The text will come through on my other phone. Yeah, not the one I'm on. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm texting you now. Because that's been shown, and that's why I think she told an untruth.
Well, I think she's trying to make it look like her and Betty are arm in arm, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yes, people are also mentioning how Elizabeth keeps mentioning how violent she is, and she's got anger issues, and she'll punch people in the face before she says anything, and all this other stuff. No, Elizabeth. She mentions all the time. People in the chat are saying that people all the time are hearing her say stuff like that she's got anger issues and stuff. But I don't know. I really haven't watched them streams a lot to see her, but. I mean, if everybody else is going to get checked into, I've checked into everybody, and now we can't talk about her. We can't check into her, right? Because the truth is coming to light, and that's, you know. So I would love to see the follow-up stream they're going to have from this, because I dare you to tell me again that she was with you last night having a live stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Elizabeth or Lady K. I challenge you to say that. Tell me I'm not telling the truth. Mm-hmm. I was checking out some of these comments.
Yeah, but did you see that I sent you 2 messages?
I just came through.
Okay. Because that stuff's been online, and that's why.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so how many of you have heard on? Well, it's online, but it's also been on Lady K when Elizabeth has been mentioning that she wants to get power of attorney over Betty. Raise your hand if you've heard her say that, because that's why she wants power of attorney over Betty. Wait a minute. That means she would be in control of Betty's money and her health care. Like, why does Betty need anybody to have power of attorney over?
Well, there's a paycheck that comes with that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, yeah. You get control of her money. You get control of her health care. Those are 2 things. Yeah, no, Betty's not dancing right now. She doesn't feel well.
That's the person that looks. Remember, I told you there's a person that looks just like her. I'm telling you, people. They're sending that all over the place.
What's POV mean? Power of
point of
what?
view. Point of view.
She POV. Said she wants POV. What does that mean?
Oh, I think they may mean power of attorney, POA.
Oh, POA, yeah. Right. If anybody, it would be a family member.
Power of attorney takes everything away.
Yeah. Power of attorney. She said typo. Sorry. Yeah, it is POA. Okay. And then weirdly enough, today, Well, last night, Eric's ex-wife. Yeah, exactly, Jody. That's just what I was going to say. Sarah Little posted a screenshot of Eric with his mom commenting, saying Eric would make a great power of attorney for Timmy. Yes, and also prayers that you. I'll read it. I'll read it right now.
Yeah, I think it said guardianship or something.
It said adopting, and then here. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah. So it's on Facebook, and Sarah Little has mentioned my name and my channel, so she's aware who I am. But she said everybody can use this. She said for all content creators. So let me see. Let me pull it up. Back again. All right. It says it's a screenshot of Eric, and it's a text between two people. So it says. There's an end of one message, and it says something. Oh yeah, let me blow it up. Something custody of Timmy, and that would work well. Praying, and then somebody else writes, "I think Betty is scared of saying anything because of Larry." And then Eric's mom says, "Eric, no one would do a better job than you, being their power of attorney. Mama of all people knows you have a lot of wisdom." That's Eric's mom, Annette. And now somebody is trying to say that Eric's mom died in 2023 and she was in her 80s. And this is what is it? This is and that not now power of attorney is over everything. Yeah. So this was, and that this might have been in September. I don't know where this is from. But there's a text. Somebody got a hold. Eric's ex-wife got a hold of this text, and it is between two people talking to Eric. I'll post it when I'm done. Yeah, exactly. And then they're saying that the mom died. She was in her 80s, which means she would have been in her 40s when she had Eric. Makes no sense. And Eric's mother was on the live stream. Remember, I made a video about it. He said, "There's my mom," and her name was Annette Carroll. And Annette Carroll on the screen said, "Hey, Whitaker's could use a new van too. Should collect money for the new van." And I said, "Oh, isn't that cute? She's helping Eric get some more money." But remember, she's the one that worked at ResCare. Now, somebody said, "No, she did, but she retired and she died. Not around anymore." Well, that makes no sense. Then they're saying that it's actually
his mother-in-law. You said,
yeah. Right? They said no. It's his mother-in-law, and she calls him mom. Oh, wait a minute. So the mother-in-law changed her name to her last name too to Carol? That makes no sense. Why would the mother-in-law's last name be Carol? None of it makes sense. So somebody's trying to steer away from the mom, which we all saw she's involved. Eric even showed it's his mom. Yeah.
There's just so much thrown into everything to confuse everybody about everything. And it just. Yeah.
And how come there's been no effort to get this family back to where they belong? Nobody. It's been 3 months and nobody's helped them get the family back.
That's true. That's according to Larry.
Yeah, and I mean, people are trying to give them vans and trucks, and screw the vans and trucks. They need the family back. You know what I mean?
And just go on record, because you asked him point blank if he wanted his family back. Those people that said, "How do we know if they do?"
Yeah. No, I asked him. I said, "Larry, do you want your family back?" He said, "Yes, of course he does." So he wants the family back. And no, everybody's been coming. They just want something from them. Nobody's been helping them. Nobody's helped to get the family back. Nobody's helped for visitations. Nobody helped nothing. I mean, you clean up the yard. Are you kidding me? They didn't get taken because the yard's got some toys in it. I mean, just what the hell? How did that help? Cleaning up the yard. Just unbelievable. How come nobody's helping? He wants the family back. I believe, personally, 100%, I think they belong at home. You know, and people can disagree with me, but
And they want that. That's what it seems that they want. So who are we guys? You know,
right.
I think Kathy and I are definitely on the same side as, you know, the Whitakers should decide. They didn't do anything to deserve this. They were on their
No,
porch. They were on their
right.
porch, guys. On their
Mm-hmm.
porch minding their own business when people came up, and look at the result of it. And those content creators that want to leave them in that mess, you know, shame on them. Shame on them.
Yeah, without one effort to what I say 3 months ago. Step one: get that family. Find out what it takes to get the family back. Yes, I did ask Larry that. Nobody's done any. Everybody that comes just makes things worse. And you know, it's funny. I'm working on a video, and it's so funny because Mark tried to keep people away from them because he said he knew people were going to be vultures. So he didn't want people going around there. He tried everything to get people to stay away from them because he knew this was going to happen. Then Tony Oliveira came, and that was a disaster. Then
Tyler. His name is. He always calls Tony.
Yeah, Tyler. Sorry.
That's all
Same
right.
thing. Tyler Oliveira. He made a mess. Then Eric and Patrick came in. They made a mess. Then everybody after them. Nobody, you know, every time somebody shows up, it gets worse. Yeah. Yeah, no, I won't steer them wrong. And the Whitakers know that I'm the one that's been on here fighting every day for them. I'm trying to clear BJ from all these false allegations. I'm trying to show the whole world that these families they've been wronged. I mean, every which way you can imagine, not just the money. Look at their family got torn up. They got ripped off, promised things, all these empty promises. Everybody came, and everybody that comes just wants something. And not one person's helped. I mean, what has Elizabeth done? She's got some paper. She wouldn't even tell what the paper was. I mean, what? What paper? And why hasn't anything happened?
Then nothing has happened because I don't think anybody's really working in the. You know,
and I'm
this
sorry,
is
but
horrific, guys. I mean, this is absolutely horrific because we all know somebody who's dealt with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't
Yeah.
I had an argument with somebody in my comments because they said 100% when you're an addict you hit, or when you're on crack you hit. That's not true. Not everybody
No.
an active drug addict or a desperate drug addict hits or is violent. And I know that for a fact. I worked in the field. That's a horrible thing to say. That, I mean, it's bad enough that they have an addiction problem. Now you're going to throw abuse on them? That is so low, guys.
Right.
That is so low. And an easy scapegoat. BJ, easy scapegoat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she's the smartest. Because she's the smartest.
Uh-huh. And that's why Eric wanted her out from the beginning, because she was sharp. She knows this kind of bullshit, and she's calling him out. What do you have to do? He got arrested. Well, thought she was gone, and she came back. She got out of jail. Then he tried to get rid of her with the fake eviction notice. Then he tried to get with he had to get her out because she knows what's going on. She knew damn well they were taking advantage of her family.
You know, guys, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I'm just reading comments.
No, you go ahead because the person that I want, the person that there is somebody that's been writing to me, and he said that I could say this, and you know, I will that when all this was going on, he reached out to Eric and Patrick. Now I've seen the receipts from Patrick. I don't remember if I've seen the receipts from Eric, where he didn't have money, but what he had was he had the experience and he had a crew of men and he's a builder, and he asked if they can come and help, and they were ignored. So here was somebody that actually wanted, and he showed them stuff. He
Yeah.
showed them stuff. And so he didn't have money. He was ignored. But he said to me several times, that could have been done by now. All they had to do was answer me. It could have been done by now. It could
Oh,
have been
hold
done
on a
by
second.
now.
Go ahead. I gotta answer this real quick.
So, you know, when people wanted to help and there wasn't money involved, you know, and I don't have any problem showing those receipts. I have a problem mentioning the person's name right now because I don't remember if I have permission for that, but I know
All right.
that I have receipts. Nobody's asking for GoFundMe's. Nobody's not.
No.
We're not asking.
No.
We're here talking, guys.
Nope.
There is nothing. There is nothing.
Nope. Not at all. I'm here to call out what that fake bullshit last night and about Betty being on that live stream, because that did not happen.
Absolutely.
That was all an act, you guys. Her pretending about the purple hearts and all that. Betty's in there and she loves the hearts. So that was all bullshit.
Hellraiser, the purple hearts are just an emoji you can click on. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the red heart or a thumbs up, that's all that is. I agree, Nancy. I don't think that they're interested in getting the family together at all.
No. And so, yeah, Eric comes in and demonizes really every last one except for Timmy, Lorraine, and Ray. And basically convince everybody they need to be put away in homes. And, and don't worry, ResCare, they'll bring them to church on Sunday, and they have outings once in a while. Like, what?
And I want to address something here that Red says. So Red says, I'm waiting for the professionals to decide if there was neglect or ABUSE. So I do want to know, and I think you could validate this. I think if you can't, then don't. I have heard from several people that there wasn't scratches on them. There was no sign of any thing. Have you heard that as well?
That a roundabout way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I that there was no sign of that. That there was no sign of that. I'll tell you what I did hear, which you know, and yeah, I'll put this shit out. I don't care. I did hear that supposedly Betty, after being coaxed, said that BJ, apparently she said, let me just say apparently, she said that BJ had hit them. But she has also said that BJ has never hit them, but that she was being blackmailed, right, or extorted, something about Eric. That came out. I'm not making that up. We all saw that, right?
I have the clips. In fact, I put out a shitload of clips of Larry, one after the of how he got blackmailed, and they admitted they blackmailed him with that can of gasoline. So Larry got blackmailed into going, and then they got mad because he didn't say the right things. So then they showed that video of him anyway with the gas. So he was blackmailed. Betty was coerced. I have clips of that too. I'll gather them all up, put out another video. All the times that Betty got, oh, if you don't, there's not going to be a house. Oh, you can't get the house if BJ's there. And they're just trying to keep up with them because, you know, who's going to think, who thinks this is going to happen? You know, I mean, they were manipulated. And it's easy to prove. It's easy to prove. Thank you, Marshmallow. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. 11 days till Christmas. Wow, I didn't know it was that close, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. Do a video about that. I will. I'll put out more clips of Betty.
There are people that remember that there was a builder who mentioned numerous times in the chat, but there is also there was also like text messages, because I saw those for sure. I saw those text messages between the builder and in all fairness, Patrick said thank you, but that was it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, you know, guys, this I'm beginning to really think that this was premeditated by Eric. I'm really beginning to think that that was his sole purpose. The whole damn thing was that. Oh my gosh, Reddy's saying that there was so many people. Why would they be? I mean, that's fucking, well, that's crazy. No,
Many
let's get
people
money
what?
instead. So many people in the comments were saying that they would help. That she literally saw people in the comments saying
Well,
that
yeah.
the builders, I guess because no money was involved.
Well, in the end, they were turning away help. Well, first, Eric had it all handled, remember?
Oh my God. Oh my
No,
God.
they're turning everybody away. We're turning everybody away. Eric's got this handled. It's going to be a log cabin. It's got to be, and that's going to take. In fact, you know what I got? I just got clips of Eric saying that day that they went to the Amish and they were supposed to be in court, but instead they went down to the Amish. I have a clip of Eric saying, "Yep, what they said they're going to do it. It probably won't be done till spring. So we're going to give Patrick money to fix up his house, and they're going to stay there over the winter."
There you go. That's my guy right there, T-Bro. That's T-Bro. I was just talking about you. I just didn't want to give out your name. So that's the guy that sent me that stuff. So there.
Yeah,
you, bro. I didn't even realize you were here.
Yes, Florida Life in the Sun. There were roofers, construction people. There's people that wanted to help, but Eric was in control, and he pushed everybody away. And why? Of course he did. He did not want a house built, because if there's a new house there, he's got nothing to bitch about, nothing to turn him in for. He wanted that house to stay dirty. He wanted the house to be like that. When he otherwise they're going to come and say, "Hey, this is a nice, clean house." You know what I mean? No, he needed that house to stay in that condition.
I have a question for somebody. I think it was Brandy. And I'm not trying to throw you out there, but I'm thinking of what you asked. If they want to get custody, because remember you were like for $800 a month. If they want to get custody, then can't they try to get from Betty and through Betty, try to get the family back through Betty while controlling Betty? You know what I'm saying? Like, Eric wants custody, and this woman has power of attorney. And there's an affiliation between the both of them.
Yes.
So maybe to get the other three, they would manipulate Betty. And why would they want the other three? We know that, honestly, they want Timmy.
They want Timmy. Yep.
They want Timmy. It's not even the other three that they want that I saw. I mean, they kept taking a kid away from his mom. Now, I know Timmy's a 46-year-old man, but Lorraine and him, I mean, I'm not trying to, we know that how close they were, legitimately, how close they were.
The whole family is close. I mean, none of them want to be broken up.
Exactly. But I mean, what I'm saying is when they kept taking him away from her, how did that benefit? Why didn't they take them both? Why couldn't she watch her son get on a jet ski? Why couldn't she watch her son do things? Don't you think that would make her happy? She's the mother. I mean, that would bring her so much joy to see her son experiencing things outside of a porch. The woman's not a friggin' idiot. I mean, she's got heart and feelings. I mean, so what they did was they kind of separated, and in my opinion, they fed Timmy that bullshit about BJ.
Yes, and Eric admitted that Lorraine and Ray would be too much work. He said that they're a lot of work. He said, they were just going to be collateral damage when the APS came in. And somebody in the chat saying Eric didn't want custody of Timmy. Are you kidding? He said it for how many videos in a row? I personally have put out the clips. Yeah, he wants custody of Timmy. He's filling out the custody papers. He kept saying, "Oh, it's after Lorraine dies," but like, why wouldn't it go to Kenny? And you know what? I was watching something, and there was a very good point where somebody said that there's a reason why Eric pushed Kenny out of the picture right away at the beginning, because he didn't want him part of the story. He didn't want you guys to know that Kenny practically lives there. I heard Kenny say he goes up there at 9 o'clock in the morning. He don't go home till 9 o'clock at night. So obviously, if there's a problem, Kenny would be talked to. Kenny would be probably at least guardianship maybe of Timmy or something. But right away, Kenny was removed. Do you notice that? Kenny really never got any FaceTime on these videos.
He was on Patrick's video the other night. Come on.
No, I mean when Eric was around.
I was being facetious.
Okay, yeah. Now that everybody's gone, but Eric purposely took him out of the storyline, so it looks like Eric is the only the only one capable of handling this mess, and the only one capable of taking Timmy. And I just told you, there's a text from his own mom encouraging him, Eric, to hang in there. That you're going to be the best power of attorney Timmy could ever have, and something about adopting him. I just read it. So there's
it was you just read it. You just read it.
Yeah, and right. And so there's no doubt that he even said, I want to bring him back to Georgia. Oh, and it's going to be really hard the day I have to bring him back. I'm not going to want to bring him back. All this stuff. Yeah, he had a room ready for him. I mean, he had Nintendo or whatever, the game system ready for him. All these things ready. And he had and think about this. If you're saying that Eric's mom died, then how come Eric said that's Timmy's new grandma? Calling Eric's mom Nana or whatever he called her.
Oh, I remember. I made a
video. I made a video about it. So how can she be dead if he's singing in the shower about Nana Carol?
So
anyway,
I'm sorry. I wanted to address Kim. So in all fairness, Kim at 6:47, so I'm a few minutes behind. I'd like to address that in all fairness, Kim Ruff. So I think that what happened was that Elizabeth got a little bit upset. And this is the way that I think this happened. Okay. In all fairness to Lady K, I think and I told Kathy this, I think what happened was that Elizabeth reached out to her and said, hey, I can get Betty on live stream tonight. And Lady K went for it because, hey, to get Betty on your channel, there's nothing wrong with that. And she couldn't. And I think Lady K was kind of stuck. Like, what do I do now? That's what I think happened, because if you remember, it happened so damn quick after our live stream yesterday. And according to Larry, Betty's been sick in bed for days. And I've seen people have said she had bronchitis. The only thing that, so her sickness was true, but Elizabeth saying she's out of town was untrue, according to Larry, who answered the phone at the house. Today. And she wasn't on the live stream because Kathy asked point blank about it. He said she's been in bed for days. She wasn't on no live stream. So and the only problem that Lady K would have, in my opinion, is just, I don't know why she would think Betty was writing to her about the Purple Hearts. That's the only thing about that.
Yeah, because she perpetuated that lie that Betty was there in the chat, and she wasn't. She was saying, "Oh, Betty says thank you," but I'm thinking, first of all, how is she talking to Betty? How's Betty talking to both of these people, and they're all in three different states?
There's no no internet.
Yeah, and there's no internet, so it was impossible that she was on a live stream last night. She was sick in bed. Yep. Yeah, and they made it sound.
The reason for that was to bring credibility to something that doesn't appear very credible.
Right. Yep.
Eric wants Timmy and someone wants the Whitaker land. BJ and Timmy is set to inherit that land right now if you follow the inheritance laws. Tiny Stedding says that.
Yeah, so I've heard how that land property it keeps the parents. So the across the street where the trailer burned down, that's their land. Okay, not really where their house is now, but across the street, that's their land. Clear as day. And in the papers or whatever, on that property, it always goes down to the descendants and the descendants of the descendants. And so,
Right.
yeah, after there's 14 children, I think there's maybe Larry, Lorraine,
Betty,
Ray, Kenny, and
Ketty.
Betty. Yeah, and then there's a sister, and maybe so there's a few, but within 20 years, that there will just be the grandchildren then, or the
Timmy,
great grand.
well,
Mhm.
in 20, it'd be Tim. Well, BJ still be right. So she's a grandchild, and Timmy,
Yep.
right? Grandchild.
Yep. And so, yeah, eventually, and so that's another reason why. How in the hell could you tell BJ to get off that property when it's part hers? Oh, we're going to build a house here. You got to get off here. What are you talking about? She's in the will. I mean, she's a Whitaker, and it will go down Whitaker to Whitaker to Whitaker, direct descendants. So the children, then the grandchildren, then the great grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
she's got every right to be there. As a matter of fact, Kenny is the brother too, and so Kenny's got a right to be on that land too. In fact, Kenny, they all grew up across the street. There used to be a house there, and they had they had 14 children. The mom and dad had 14 children, and they lived in the house across where that trailer burned down. All 14 kids plus the mom and dad. That was 16 people living in that house. And yeah, so Kenny grew up. They all grew up across the street where that house burned down. Then they put that camper there, and Larry's been in there for 20 years. But so you can't kick any one of them off. It's rightfully their land. So I don't know how they were going to keep BJ off the property. Like, that's not even in reality. Well, unless you could maybe put her in prison for, a long time.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. And then did he try? Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Reddy. I think he just wants Timmy.
Yeah, I think he just wants Timmy too. No,
I
he
think
doesn't want Lorraine and Ray. He already said, I made a video about it. He said they're just too much work. Timmy, I'd love to have Timmy, but Ray and Lorraine, too much work. He said, I'm only one person. I can't handle them.
Can you imagine, him taking Ray home to his house? I'm not trying to make fun of.
No.
Can you? I mean, he already made fun of the guy. He already said how dirty he was, right? Didn't he say how
Right.
dirty
Yeah.
he was?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine bringing him home to his wife? Honey, here's another one. Can you imagine that? That's not, come on, guys. Eric Carroll?
No.
It was too hard for him to stay and fix the mess he caused.
Yep. I mean, yeah, he flat out said, yeah, I would love to take all three, but Ray and Lorraine are just too much work. Timmy, he's easy. You could put him in the side, and when he's done with them, he could put him aside with a bologna sandwich and say, get over there, and I can get on and do my stuff on the phone. He said that. I made a video about it. Yep.
And that was that. I'm telling you, Charlie, I'm behind in the chat. I'm sorry. We saw that clip. We're pretty sure that we saw the clip of Betty saying on a video, "Leave my family alone." That was after that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a sound clip. And we're not bothering the family. Let's be clear. I haven't been there. I'm not there. I'm not talking in anybody's ear.
No.
Kathy returned a phone call that somebody reached out to her. And they actually called her, and they were playing phone tag a little bit.
Yep, I have a message where BJ reached out to me. Hey, Kathy, this is BJ. Can you give me a call? And then she gave me her phone number, and I typed back, yeah, here's my phone number. She tried to call me. I didn't see it, and then I tried to call her. I thought it was her cell phone, but it was the phone that Larry answered. So I don't know what phone it is, but they're
not going to have cell phones that work in that house, so it has to be the landline.
It has to be the landline, yep. So yeah, I called this morning because none of this makes sense. And if Elizabeth wants to have power of attorney now over Betty too, I mean, did she not say that on Betty K's live stream? She wants power of attorney.
And there's money coming. Supposedly there's money coming.
Right before she gets a large sum of money. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, somebody
Tenacity.
found that. Marshmallow found that. Marshmallow said that she found that stream.
What stream?
I mean, she said I had to go back and watch when BJ said you were exploiting my family. After
Mm-hmm.
that, she said, "Leave my family alone." I think that that's what Betty said, and it sounded very familiar. As soon as I heard that that's what was said, I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Man," because I didn't hear it. I remember, when I say I heard it, you guys sent me stuff. You guys told me what was going on. I didn't watch it because I don't need to be triggered. And again, I don't think it's fair when I block somebody to go watch their channel. I just don't think it's right. So anyway, and you guys sent me stuff anyway. So when I read the thing that said, um, it was a clip. Somebody even wrote it was a clip. The first one I got was
Mm-hmm.
it was a clip of Betty saying, "Leave my family alone." And the first thing I saw was the picture in my mind of that video of her saying, "Leave my family alone." Like she was there was no expression in her voice this time. It was just leave my family alone. I have more expression in the voice. It just seemed like she was fucking over it. I think it happened after. I think that video took place after.
And how many times has Elizabeth said they're better off where they are right now?
Yep.
And somebody in the chat said exactly what I said. She was asked just within the last week, "Do you think they should go home?" She said, "Well, some people think they should go home. Some people think they should stay. I'm right in the middle, and I think that they should stay where they are, and then Betty should have visits." She said she wants them to stay where they are. That's not helping getting them home. If she's not going to help get them home, then move on.
Hey, Jody Ann 73. I never heard about this, and that's the person
What?
that blocked me. She said, speaking about their land, Sonny was working on getting signatures from all of the family to get the land turned over to someone. I never heard
What?
about that. Jody Ann at 73, Jody Ann 73 at 6:55. Go back in the chat. Jody Ann, can you
Wow.
reach out to Kathy, because I don't think you're a subscriber of mine. I don't remember the name, but could you reach out to Kathy and tell her more about that, please?
Yeah, I'd like to know who's.
Ready? It doesn't matter. It's their land. It doesn't matter. It's their land. It's the place to put a home for them. It's theirs. I don't care
Right.
what it means. It means the world to them. That's something that their parents worked for.
Right.
Guys, come on. Please, not everything is about money. Please. That's their
Yep.
land.
Yep. Yep.
This is heartbreaking. And I know, Reddy, that maybe I didn't read that right. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, I'm saying, okay, well, why would they benefit from it? Because maybe they wouldn't have a place to go home to. Maybe they'd have nothing after that. Maybe out of spite, just to take something away. It doesn't have to be. I mean, seriously, I believe everything that they did was about money. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Mm-hmm.
there could be some spite there because maybe they didn't get enough money, or there's just, why should somebody have, why? Like, their family worked hard. Think about that, guys. Just think about
Yeah.
that.
Why would anybody want to even put your hands or even think about trying to take their land away? Like, what the hell? What plan am I on? Pam says Sonny said that she was working on getting the family members to sign off on land. It was a recorded phone call with Betty and Larry.
Wow. You know what? I've never thought about it like that, Hannah Ray. And Hannah Ray says 2 trailers have burned up there. Now I'm reading that as, isn't that suspicious?
Well, no, the trailer burned.
There's two. This person saying 2 trailers have burned there, and I believe that there were 2. I think that there were 2.
Well, there was a house there first across the yard. That across the street there was a large house. There the 16 people, the mom, dad, and 14 kids. So it was a large family lived in the house. It was a big house. And then that burned down like 20 something years ago. Then Betty, when Larry moved back, Betty Larry cleaned up the fire from the house, and that's the house they all grew up in. It was there forever. But that house burned down, and Larry cleaned it all up, and so Betty bought him a trailer so he could be on there, and he's been in that trailer ever since, like 20 years. So
Yeah. Okay. And Kim Ruff. So apparently Jessica was in the chat. So I just want to say there, you're right. What do you mean, Jessica? Kathy can call just as Elizabeth does, but that's not what Kathy did, in all fairness.
no, nope.
Kathy was returning a call from BJ. And Kathy has proof that BJ reached out to her. I think it was on Messenger. I think you told me, right?
No, on Facebook she got a hold of me and said, Kathy, this is BJ. Please give me a call. Can I have your number? And I gave her my number, and she gave me her number. And I have that. I took a photograph of it today.
Okay. Yep. But you put your number out. You just put your phone number right on there on Facebook, or was it an instant messenger? I wouldn't.
No, it was a private message.
Oh, okay, it was. So that's instant messenger on. That's messenger,
yeah.
Right? So, okay.
Yeah, on Facebook. Okay. No, it was a private, but I have a photograph of it. Took it today.
No, yeah. I know. Okay.
But yeah, she reached out to me because on her it was support BJ or something like that page, and just a few days ago she pulled out of that page. I don't know why, but for months that page was for her and for people that support her, and I was in that group. Well, I'm in the group, but so everybody was saying that, hey, Kathy's trying to help. Kathy's helping you. And they're posting my videos in there showing BJ that I was trying to defend her, defend the family, point out what Eric was doing. I was the one trying so hard to help them. And they were posting all my stuff. And BJ liked what she saw. And she reached out to me because, I was defending her.
Same way Jessica reached out to me for Patrick. Because I was defending Patrick. I gotta put my thing on mute for a second. Sorry.
Sure. Okay. But yeah, so she reached out to me. So that's why I have her number. BJ's got my number. But when I called today, it was Larry that answered. And I said, I'm going to ask him. Yeah. BJ does need to make the people leave because what has anybody done? Everybody that's come has made things worse. Then the next person makes it worse. I mean, where are they? How come there's been no progress in 3 months? I mean, so they should just cut everybody off at this point. I mean, like I said, unless you got a way to help them, but no, somebody who believes that the family should stay where they're at, that would be all you should need to hear. That's somebody who's, and not only stay where they're at, but stay at a place where she used to work at, and she knows those people, and a place that the same company, not the same one, but the same company that Eric's mom worked at. But yeah, these people need somebody that actually was going to help them. Because what has anybody done? Like I said, and everybody that shows up wants something. Oh, I want custody of you. I want custody of your kid. I want the deed to your land. Like, get the hell out of you. Why does everybody want something? Megan is Sunni. Oh yeah, that's right. I guess that's her real name or something.
Yeah, Megan. Yeah, that's her real name.
Yep. But yeah, where are these people that say, hey, this is enough. We got to get your family back. There hasn't been any. Nobody's trying to get their family back. Who?
Yeah, like that's exactly correct. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Donna, I don't know. There's questions besides Facebook and YouTube. Have any of the other platforms been taken down? I would assume that it would be all of them on each platform, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know that they did have a TikTok and an X or something. I don't know if those have been taken down. Somebody just put were asking questions. I just wanted to answer that. Sorry.
Yep. No, that's good. I want to answer the people in the chat. Now, Ten Arabian said, yes, Kathy, I was the one of them that told BJ to watch you because you're for them. Absolutely. I've been for BJ and her family since day one. And I've gotten some crap over it too, but I don't care. And you know what? There's been a lot of people who changed their mind when I rolled out some bunch of evidence that these people have been screwed over. She's been falsely accused of a bunch of stuff. Everything. I mean, everything I rolled out. How many videos have I rolled out trying to help this family? You know, I've never wavered on that. I've never wavered on that. Yep. So thank you, Ten Arabian.
So I have a question, I guess, from Big Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy that decided to come up on my email a couple times after being asked not to, and came at me totally aggressively, and also threatened Justin because I've seen that. So there you go. I addressed you.
Oh, and right here, the Big Ugly Henson says the 3 will never go back home. Well, if that's what you want, I mean, maybe you want to wish that. I don't believe that. I believe the 3 can go home. That's where they belong.
Why does that hurt you so much about them? I'm asking you seriously. Why does it bother you about them going home? Why does that affect people? I want to know why that affects people. I'm asking respectfully, Big Ugly, though you don't really deserve it, but I'm asking respectfully, why does that bother people? How does that affect you? Nobody's asking anything of you.
Right.
Why does it bother you?
I mean, because the only reason people ever have came straight out of Eric's mouth. The one who wanted custody and ownership of everything and lied to everybody all year, all summer.
I don't know why Big Ugly doesn't go after Eric or Patrick. I mean, they're the people that owe them, but he goes after an old man and a senior citizen woman, and that makes him big and ugly, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done, Big Ugly, besides take other people's content? What have you done to try to help the family? Because Kathy and I have brought attention to things because we want to help the family. It's not our decision to have them taken away, but we all played a part of it if we all want to hold ourselves accountable. Some of us actually made phone calls on Eric's behalf. Now, I didn't do that. The most I've ever done is create content. Okay, create content in favor of the Whitakers.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah,
what's the issue here?
Because they'll never go home because people won't leave them alone. Are you talking about like Elizabeth?
Who are you talking to, me? Or are you talking
to me? Big Ugly Henson says they'll never go home because nobody will leave them alone. That makes no sense. No, if they're not coming home, it's because the people that are trying to interfere and people who believe that the 3 belong where they are, they should stay. If that was your family, is that what you would say? I mean,
how about it's none of us? It's none of our. It was never any of our business.
Right.
These people were living on their porch.
Right.
They were living on their porch, and people went to them. Put yourself there. You're minding your own business, and people come and start putting you on the internet. I mean, you know, you make a big deal about people that have never even been to the Whitakers, Big Ugly, and makes you really look stupid. You're coming after the wrong people. Go after the people that you're afraid to go after, the people that owe them. And that would be Eric Carroll and Patrick Rourke. And apparently, well, I'm not going to put out where you are, but you know, anyway.
Right.
Dox your ass. I'm not going to dox his ass. He already did that to himself. So.
Yep. Yeah, but like I can smell bullshit, man, and you know, every one of them so far has been full of shit. Patrick and Eric and And now we got, Elizabeth now says everybody has to go through her. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, gatekeeper. Exactly.
Yeah.
Why does she need a gatekeeper? The woman's in her 70s. She's never had a gatekeeper before. Who decides that she needs one? Why does she need one now? And who is she to decide that she should be the one and that the woman needs one? That's not fair, guys. That's just not right.
And, their house has been like that their whole life. And I'm going to tell you something. Some people probably don't know. So I'm working on a video, and I had a clip of Kenny. And Kenny was saying that Mark was asking Kenny, so yeah, their house is well, they went and looked at Kenny's house. And Kenny had it all neat. He had a little little shed thing he was living in. And Mark went over there and he goes, wow, it's pretty neat and clean in here. He said, yeah. He goes, well, your family's kind of messy, huh? He said, yeah, it's always been messy. And he said, what was your house like growing up? He said, the same. So, okay, so they've been there 70 years. Their parents before them. So for the last 100 years, they've all lived in a messy house. I don't know, out of 14 kids, maybe 10 of them maybe living. Some died or whatever, but so they had a gigantic family with a house just like that. They all grew up. They all survived. They all had children. And now Larry, this generation, they all have them. So, why all of a sudden, after 100 years of their family with a messy house, all of a sudden they have to be taken away when there's been 3 generations, now the 4th generation on that property with the little babies coming in. They all were, Yeah.
Did you see what Little Miss 614 said? She said, I've been involved in APS and CPS cases, and they close their part out somewhat quickly, 1 to 2 months. It's the courts that move at the speed of seasons.
Yeah. But if they're being misled and they're not being given very sound advice, then they're just going to flounder. And there's,
Big Ugly, when you say you're going to stick an RV up somebody's rectum, what is that? Inviting them for coffee? I mean, at least own your shit. The guy wanted me to wager my channels, came at me. I mean, what am I making this shit up? And when I told you to stop, you kept on. So I had to block your ass, and then you got on another one of your emails and wrote me again. Am I making this shit up?
Mm-hmm.
You're a big guy. Why don't you? Seriously, I mean this. If you care about the family, why don't you take your big ugly self, and I mean that, and make sure that these people can be left alone. Instead of everybody doing the negative, why don't we try doing the positive? If you don't think that they're going to go home, okay, but why keep repeating it in the chat when we're trying to keep something positive here? What is your gain by doing that? And if you think that nobody will leave them alone, maybe there's something you could do to help leave them alone. But not right now. Let's try to get them back together first. And if you think that's in vain, then go away.
Right. Because some of us do believe in this family, and some of us do believe that they should be back together. Can you imagine what Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy are feeling right now? They got hauled away back in September, and they haven't even seen their family. I mean, imagine what's been going through their mind every day.
Hey, Stacy, you might be right. Justin would owe them, but why would I owe them? Because I had him on my platform? Well, then I guess Patrick owes everybody, and whoever's platform he was on, they have it, and we can now go to AD because he was the last one that said that he was going to pay rent, that, he was going to pay rent for the year. Is that the way it works? Is that the way it works? The last person that says, I got this? I mean, then let's stop at AD. And I don't think we should. I really don't think we should. I think that the people that owe them money are the ones that are held accountable.
Right.
And we can't go back and do anything about that, but perhaps there's something we can do to I mean, there's a reason why BJ reached out to you, Kathy. And I know that you haven't really spoken to her. And I know that there's things that Larry has spoken to you that you can't speak about.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, there's something that they're asking from the YouTube channels.
Right.
And they need support right now. Why would that be a horrible thing?
Right. And if you see people that are trying real hard to work for the Whitakers, and why would you come in and try to shoot it down and say, "Oh, this isn't going to work," or "That's bad"? I mean, that's not where I've gotten in life. You know, I've gotten where I'm at because I don't give up on anything. You know, if I gave up on everything, you know, I wouldn't be anywhere. But no, I believe in doing everything possible and then some. And so, yeah, I believe the family should be back together. I believe in that. And yeah, if Eric would have never said it, how come everybody watched the Whitakers for 5 years on Soft White? And we saw every inch of their house, and it was never a big deal.
Susan, are you really that ridiculous that you would put that comment in there? Toddy, the family pimped themselves out for cash and opened up their lives to the public. Wow. I think you're more ignorant than the Whitakers. Mm-hmm. I really do. That is the most ignorant comment because they know everything living on their porch, and it's not like any of them have any kind of mental disabilities.
No, and what did they know before?
I mean, that's horrible to victimize them. They pimp themselves out.
Right. And just like the people who say that the Whitakers fucked over Patrick. Like, wait a minute, what? People actually saying, "Oh, the Whitakers screwed over Patrick, not the other way around." Like, wait a minute. I mean, victimizing the victim. And, you know, let's put it this way. When exactly did BJ reach out? Recently. Yeah, they should be allowed to come home and live their damn life. I don't believe in giving up or saying, "Oh, they're better off." You don't even know where they're at. And by the way, you know what? This is funny because if, you know, obviously Elizabeth knows where they're at because she didn't deny knowing where they're at, and her friends work there, and if she's all in the know, has she ever told Betty that, "Oh, by the way, the people that I know and that I've worked with before, they have your family"? No. Nope. Yep. Yeah, you're right, Hello Sweet. Yeah, we're not giving the negative. No, we're not going to give the negative comments any power. No, because it's all it is. It's negativity. It's like trying to do something, you know, and without cheering somebody else on. If you're not going to cheer them on, then just go away. Because maybe you think they shouldn't go home, or maybe you think they don't deserve to be reunited, or whatever. But yeah, how come?
So here's an issue, and Bonnie, I'm not calling you out. It's the issue is from Bonnie says they are saying Larry wasn't honest with you. See, that's a problem. Not that you put that out there, but that somebody else is putting that out there. Why is he lying? Where is he lying? He didn't ask for anything. He didn't ask for any money. Yep. I mean, nope. Kathy said that he didn't ask for nothing. I mean, he didn't ask for any money.
Nope. Thank you, Christoph. Thank you for that. No. Yeah, and I just don't like people. Now let's say, I never threatened it. Okay. Yeah, Big Ugly, you're just trying to bring in negativity and distraction in here, away from not only positivity, but the goal of, you know, reuniting the family. And if you're not for it, then you're against it. And how has Elizabeth ever told Betty, "Oh, by the way, I know where your family is"? Betty was watching the live, Donna. How do you know that? How was she watching the live? So you think I don't believe Larry. For one thing, I didn't even say anything except that the two things that he wants people to know, and that was about the money and about yeah, Betty was there last night in bed. She hasn't left. We were told that she was out of town, another state, I think she said. But no, she's not out of town, and he's got no reason to lie to me. He's got no reason to lie. What's he going to lie for? Because he also wants to play along that Betty was on a live stream last night. Why does he want to play along with that? It makes no sense.
You would lie and say somebody was out of town so that nobody showed up on the door to her, or nobody said, "Can I speak to her?" Not that she's laying in bed. The lie would be she's out of town.
No, and Larry and I had a very friendly conversation, and like I said, BJ already knows who I am. She's familiar that I've been nothing but trying to fight, putting out to the whole world every piece of evidence I have that this family has been taken advantage and that they've been falsely accused, and what Eric did and Patrick did. I spent every day on it, and she knows that. So they know I'm not some outsider coming in to try to make more money. They already know my track record since for the last 3 months with trying to help this family. So he's got no reason to lie to me. And about what? That Betty's in bed sick right now? No,
You're absolutely right, Big Ugly. You win. I'm lying about everything. Can we just get him out of here? He's not doing anything.
Grace, you want to get rid of him if you're still here? Big Ugly's got to go. It's just the name fits because you got a very ugly outlook on this all. And Marilyn, Marilyn Holt. There ain't no reason to tell the truth either. Larry has no reason to tell. Marilyn, you're the one who said Eric's mom died at 83 years old in 2023. Well, just a few months ago, she was on the live stream with Eric. And you want people to think that Eric's mom died? And that now he's calling the mother-in-law Annette Carroll. She changed her last name. The mother-in-law is going by the dead mom's name. I don't get it. None of that makes sense either. And to me, Judge Judy always says, if it don't make sense, it's probably not true.
That's what I say. Yeah, you don't need a good memory if you're telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what's all the connections with? I'll put that screenshot out when I'm done. Of her on Facebook, the ex-wife. It's got the text from the mom, who is Annette Carroll, is just encouraging Eric to that you'll be the best power of attorney for Timmy ever. Let's pray that what she say, that whatever this goes through. So she, and they're all happen to work at the same place or used to. So yeah, you can't tell me that Eric's mom died.
It's a private place, and it's a private place. It's a private
place. It's a private place for profit. So that means either a man or a woman owns that building, and they own it so they can make money. That's sad. Yeah, they could die from heartache.
Maryland, is it true that Eric wants custody of at least Timmy?
Yeah, I don't believe he wants custody of anybody but Timmy. Yes, and I've been pulling for BJ too. She's been gotten a horrible bad rap. And just think, if you're trying to get off drugs and the whole world's saying that you're on drugs and you're stealing everything and you're a horrible person, well, that would make somebody relapse right there. You know what I mean? Where's all the encouragement for BJ? But no, everybody's been poisoned against the family. I don't know if anybody was left.
Lamar, I'm going to answer that by saying, I don't know, but neither do you, right? It's not our call. Is it fair to say it's not our call? They weren't taken for that.
No.
They weren't taken for, is Betty able to properly care for them? That's not my call. That's not your call. That's not why they were taken.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. All I saw is every single photograph, video, even Google image has the clothesline packed full of laundry. She does laundry every day. She cooks for everybody. Nobody was. You see anybody that was underfed or sickly or anything like that? Ray, yeah, he was kind of skinny, but he's old. You know what I mean? I seen pictures of the grandpa and everybody else skinny as rails. So actually, they look like they were quite fed.
Well, we've watched Ray eat. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's eating practically in every video.
Yeah.
He's eating a sandwich in his hand, and he eats with his hands all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does. I just saw a clip last night. Thank you, Flash in the Pan, also for BJ. Because, yeah, I think people believed everything Eric said. Now, really, how can anybody believe anything Eric said at this point? You got to question everything. If you saw him not lie for 90% of everything he ever said, why would you believe the other 10%? I mean, why would you believe anything? Somebody lies to me about almost everything all day long. What am I supposed to pick out somewhere where some hope there's a truth? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Marilyn, I'm sorry, but this comment, so I just want to read this to you. So Marilyn wrote, Toddy, I have no idea what Eric wants. I have never met the man. But I would say that if he is cleared in this state investigation, he has a good chance as anyone of getting custody of him. That would be absolutely horrible because he did this to get custody of him. He split up a family for this reason. I mean, I'm not saying that you're co-signing it, but that's horrible. I mean, wouldn't you agree that that's horrible to create a situation to get? I mean, that's premeditation. Tell me I'm wrong.
And Marilyn is the same one who said that Eric's mom died two years ago.
I heard you say it, but I did want to say that because, I mean, I can't imagine why anybody would think that that would be great or good. And I'm not saying that you said that, but I mean, come on, there's a big issue with that.
And why, he has a good chance of anyone to get custody. Why couldn't Kenny get custody? Why couldn't anybody else? They have family that lives in that area. People have known him his whole life.
Why can't Betty just get custody back?
Right. And we don't know because nobody's brought him down to the courthouse and found out.
They haven't had a fighting chance.
No.
They've not had a fighting chance, according to Larry. Nobody brought him down, you said, right? You just said that. That nobody brought him down for anything.
Nobody's helped him do anything. Right, and no, they can't afford an attorney because they haven't been paid. And that's probably why neither one of them has paid the Whitakers, because they'll turn around and get a lawyer and come after them. Of course, he wants them to stay broke.
That's right.
Because if they
advantage.
Right, it's listen, they're a lot easier to manipulate without anybody backing them up. You know what I mean? So they hand them $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. They're going to get an attorney, and now they're going to have a fight on their hand because it's going to be day and night if they have an attorney and if they don't. So it's in their best interest to keep them broke and keep their house dirty and keep their house or whatever. That's why there was nothing done all summer. Eric could have he started going there in June. If he said it was so bad from the first time he went there, then by July, it could have been done. Or there could have been a double wide across the street. There could have been anything. He didn't so much as get a gallon of paint, nothing. He didn't fix the floor. He didn't do anything. They're snooped around in their yard. Listen, the yard's not the problem. Look, go clean up Patrick's yard. Like I said, his looks like some photograph out of a hurricane disaster film. Go up there. You know what I mean? All they did is, tidied up the yard after it's already been cleaned up? Yeah. Yeah, they've been victimized one after the next, coming in victimizing these people.
Chris McGowan says, Patrick took them, but they said money, and he said nope. I thought he took them, but who's gonna? So the lawyer, he's gonna burden a lawyer with what him and Eric owe the Whitakers, and then have that guitar. Now, who doesn't see? Come on, man, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that guitar could have put a lawyer on retainer.
Absolutely. Couple grand to get a lawyer.
That
You
guitar
know,
is $3,000 at the very least. Then I don't know which one he bought, but the cheapest one I've seen is $3,000. Well, 3,100.
yeah, so he just buys a guitar that's a minimum of $3,000 instead of paying them. So he's just watching them like a fish out of water, just gasping for breath, as he's buying a guitar. You know, he's watching them lose their family, and it doesn't bother him a bit. He's laughing it up on these channels. No guilt at all. I mean, wow.
Little Miss
Yeah.
614 is saying, just to clarify, it's not custody of Timmy, it would be guardianship. I'm not trying to be ignorant, but I don't know the difference, and I'm sure there is one. Can you write it in the comment in the chat so that we all know? God, I'm sorry.
I know the difference. Adoption is permanent. It's like what you do for a kid. It's permanent. Custody, guardianship, and all that. That is just, it could be temporary. There's no. It's not permanent. So when you adopt somebody, it's for life. If you have custody, that's till you have custody. And they made in the text that we saw, he said power of attorney, which is the same exact language that Elizabeth is using about Betty, that she wants power of attorney for Betty. That means you're in full control of their money and their health. So she says, oh, Betty needs to be, in a hospital or something, or, in a care or whatever. She can do whatever she wants.
Susan, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to read a comment out loud.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish.
No, I'm just saying that's a lot of power to have power of attorney over someone. It's right in the word, power of attorney. You know what I mean? You're in full control of these people.
Absolutely. So Susan says so. One says, Kathy, that's not true. Sonny took Larry and Betty to see a lawyer. I vaguely remember this. The lawyer called APS. And Larry and Betty refused to do what the lawyer advised. So all I remember with that was Sonny said that she took them, and then she said that it was Patrick. That's what I thought. She said that Patrick was telling them that they have to do, or maybe it was Larry that it was some phone call that she shared. It was at the beginning. But I vaguely remember that, Susan. I don't know, man. So many people. But now didn't we just find out that she wants the land? Somebody wrote that. I don't know if this is true or people are just writing things in there. But if everybody has kind of like an ulterior motive, that's not very good.
Right. Imagine if I pulled up today and said, oh, I need the deed to your land. I mean, or I want guardianship papers for your family member. It's like right there. That should just make it stop and have that person leave, because they want something. Why does anybody need custody of any? Who told them they need custody? I mean, why isn't Larry capable?
Let me ask you a question. Why do you say that, me and my buddy 964? You don't think that they would get a lawyer even if we gave them, we're not giving them any money, but even if they had $500,000? Why do you say that? And I'm not trying to call you out, but I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. Is it because they wouldn't know any better? Because what would they spend the money on? Like, where are they spending the money over here? Where's the gold? I'm just asking, like, would it be because they don't know how to get a lawyer?
Yeah, and actually, Eric actually used the term adopt more than one time. Adopt, Timmy, adopt. And they were, and just like, who just said that? Pam. Yeah, he told his wife on the phone that he's going to get 50-50 custody with Patrick. They were going to have shared custody with Patrick, with Timmy. Like, wait a minute. Oh, he's already had custody of his family. You know what I mean? So yeah, right off the bat, when he was still getting along with Patrick, they're talking about adopting Timmy, two Timmys and a dad, and they shared custody. And then when they had the falling out, Eric said, I was going to split custody with Patrick, but now he's out. He wants it for himself. So you can call it adopting, you can call it custody, whatever. He wants Timmy at his house. He said so.
Yeah, so say it out loud. So at the very beginning of this, and I'll say it again because there's a lot more people in it. So because he wrote, so was the rumor Eric paid up with a settlement a big fat lie? Well, apparently, I guess it was because, I mean, I got what I thought was good information, and I still am not going to tell you the source of that good information, because I know that I've gotten good information. But according to Larry, Kathy asked, and he said no, they didn't get paid a dime, not a dime.
No.
So, I mean, I think that, you got to believe somebody, and I'm believing Larry. I did believe the other person because, I mean, they sent me information from being there. That's how I knew certain things, about like one of Patrick's relatives, and the things about like the guitars and stuff. I mean, when there are people that write to me that have been scammed and hurt by Patrick. A few women, and there's people there that, and I've seen actual receipts about that, which I would never show because it would expose. And so but yeah, I guess I got wrong information because yeah. So that's where that. So I apologize for that. I wasn't lying, but if somebody told me an untruth, I'm sorry that I passed that on. I'm sorry, but that's all I got on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so why right off the bat was Patrick and Eric talking about having shared custody? He even said, I'll drop him off at Patrick's, and when he's done with him, he can drop back off with me. Like they're already the dads. They call themselves two dads and a Timmy. We joked about putting t-shirts out. Yeah, two dads and Timmy. And I think he only said that because his plan was to weed Patrick out, I think, from the beginning. But he couldn't say, I'm going to get custody, because when they said meet Patrick and Eric at their first sit down together, in that video, they said, Eric asked Patrick, so how has Timmy changed you? And he said, yeah, I used to be a mean son of a bitch. And
I remember that.
He's changed me more than anybody. And then they said, you got kids? Well, Patrick's got 6 kids. And Patrick says, oh, don't bring up my kids. Because, there's not a good track record there. And anyway, and then they said, I'm not Timmy's dad, but I'll gladly take his place. And then, Eric wanted to get in on that. So he said, well, we can share custody. And oh, yeah. And then eventually it went from Patrick being the daddy to Patrick and Eric being the daddy to Eric wanting to be the daddy. And you can't say it wasn't. Every video he said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Robert. I never thought that Patrick. I'm reading the comments. I never thought that Patrick, because he wrote, Patrick's not the bad guy. He got suckered just like the Whitakers did. However, and I agree with you, but he owes them money and he hasn't paid them.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I think he got suckered too. I really do. And I've said that from the get-go. I think he got blindsided, and I believe that. But he owes them money. And they need that money. They need that money. And somebody said, how could they have gotten paid if there's an investigation? Well, Eric Carroll himself said that he had straightened things out with his lawyer, didn't he? I mean, that was something that was just recent. That was around Thanksgiving that he had straightened things out with his lawyer, and that they were going to get a settlement with Eric's lawyer. Didn't he say that in the that was the last video that I saw of Eric Carroll in regards to the Whitakers.
Mm-hmm. He said that Betty and Larry have reached out to my attorney. Not their attorney, but Betty and Larry have reached out to my attorney, and we're going to get them some money soon or something like that. Yes, both of them should probably focus on their own kids and stop trying to take other people's, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody wrote, I agree about BJ. She admitted she had a problem. That's pretty honest. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree 1,000%.
Exactly. Most people would just say, no, I kicked that habit a long time. No, she was honest. And look at it, you know, and that's why people don't want to be honest, because it gets used against you. But she was honest, and she said it. And so who doesn't have somebody in their family or family member, or somebody you know,
that doesn't have a problem? Yeah.
Right. Who's Timmy? I don't know. I suppose I don't know. Yep. Yeah, she lied, but I didn't talk to Betty. I talked to Larry, who already, and he's got no reason to lie to me. Why would he lie? Why would he lie that Betty's sick in bed? He's got no reason to. He's got no. He's not going to get any money if she says she isn't.
Tiny Steading, I can answer that question. So Tiny Steading writes, I don't know enough about guitars, but there are videos with Patrick playing guitars. Yes. And from my understanding, Patrick has a few different guitars. Okay. So I know that the guitar that he was playing, I hadn't seen him play before because it's got a beautiful scratch guard, a real beautiful tortoise shell scratch guard. And by the way, I have guitars, and that's just one I could reach with my right hand. I could do the same thing with my left hand. So, that guitar was in fact the guitar that he spoke to Ernie about, because I did ask Ernie. You know, I said, did you see the guitar? And because I didn't know the guitar. And he said, well, is it a Martin D18? And I was like, well, I don't really know if it's a Martin. I can't see the neck. I can only see the body. And he was like, he came back later and he was like, oh yeah, because you could see through the sound hole. And yeah, I wasn't really watching him play. I just saw the guitar. So if that answers your question, and he didn't have that guitar before because that was the guitar that, well, Justin said that he asked money for, and a few females said that he asked money for. So, and now he has it.
Yeah, and let's see. So BJ is trying. She is trying. She let me see. I just missed a comment. I wanted to see.
Oh, look at what Robert. Did you see what T-Bro wrote? Robert Dunlop, the attorney Eric kept giving shout outs to, specializing in power of attorney, guardianship, etc. Look him up.
Yep. And why is he going to a power of attorney? Because what did he keep saying the whole time? Oh, we got to get guardianship for these people. Like, why? If go into anybody's house, oh, we got to get guardianship of you guys. Like, for what? Oh, well, they don't even have a place to get buried. Are you kidding? They got their own cemetery practically. You know what I mean?
They do.
And I just looked at the obituaries last night, and all of them have beautiful obituaries. They all had wonderful funerals with pallbearers, all stuff that my family didn't get, and they all have plots waiting for them. So he was saying, oh, we got, Betty dies. She doesn't have we need this because if she dies, she doesn't have a place to get buried. Nobody, will know her last wishes, and like all this ridiculous stuff. Like, they've done just fine. They didn't need power of attorney from an outside stranger that does YouTube videos. Is that what qualifies him to be all of a sudden come in and take control of an entire family that's been around for generations and just come in the door and say, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I'm an expert. And I want a power of attorney of everybody, and I want control of this and that. And It's just like, how bizarre.
Nancy, go watch Kathy's video of hoarders. She used to do that. She's got a video up. She's got a video up on her channel, Nancy Swindle, where Kathy walks into a house and she put it. I don't know if you've always had it up, Kathy, but I mean, it's up because she wanted to show how things can be transformed and that she's gone and done with worse.
Shoot, it was waist high. Yeah, way worse houses than that. That could have been redone. Their house could have been redone. Even if they claim the floor was bad in the bathroom. Listen, I've even seen mobile homes. They can replace the floor. They can do everything, okay? They can put new joists in. They can do anything on a mobile home. Matter of fact, they had a tree fall on their home and crushed the roof, and they had that fixed. You know what I mean? So it's fixable. And if nothing, so yeah, I don't believe that's not even a fraction of what, and yeah, houses can, if you got pests and mice and bugs or whatever, you can, that's no problem. You can get rid of pests. You know what I mean? You can tear out walls and get rid of mold. It's all can be done. People have no idea when they're saying, oh, it can't be fixed. Really? Have you been in there and have you, because what you do, you jump on the floor a little bit, up and down, and you'll see if it's wobbly. And have you done all that? You know what I mean? Have you checked the floor, or you just taking Eric's word on anything? Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, power of attorney only applies when the person has been deemed incapacitated. Yeah, well, he's making his way. And like I said, just the connections and everything, it's not a coincidence. So yeah, and if somebody says, well, that house can't be fixed, what are you basing it on? If somebody says the family can't come home, what are you basing that on? The sewer? Well, Marilyn, if you must know, there's for one thing, there is a septic across the street. So if they needed to, they could move across the street. There's already power. There's already septic. That's already across the street if they have to. Listen, I bought this house. Guess what? Same thing. They had the septic draining into the swamp next door. I mean, I'm out here, it was part of my property it drained into. Did they tell me I had to get it fixed? Nope. I got it, and the county knows about it. They're not going to come over and tell you to get it fixed. Anyway, that's all rumors, So, yeah, if they don't have a functioning septic, I don't know. They could either move across the street, or there's a lot of ways around that. You could get a septic put in. You know what? I'm gonna drop a video of my septic getting lowered into the ground. It's a gigantic septic. I just had it done last summer, and I'll put that clip up. Like, I got a lot of clips that back up what I'm saying. I've cleaned out gross homes, the nastiest homes you ever saw. I've cleaned them out. I've had a septic put in. I've had property cleared. I got videos of all this. I'll start putting some up to show you that I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the sewer might be an issue, but you know what? Push comes to shove. You can always get an outhouse. You can always get around it. There's also septics that can be, you don't have to put them underground. There's ways around it. And what about everybody else on that side of the road? All the other houses. You can't, the city can't do selective law enforcement. You can't say yours is fine draining, yours is fine draining, but yours can't drain. Oh, but then the neighbors can drain, and the next neighbors can drain. But you can't code enforcement select. And if they're all draining into the swamp, then they all need to be shut down. You know what I'm saying? You can't just pick that house out. Anyway, yeah, a compost. There you go. Another one. In fact, when I was looking for houses up here, there was a lot of houses that had compost toilet. I'm like, oh, hell no. I ain't dealing with that. But it is legal. It's a little work, but it's legal. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. They have an outhouse.
Yeah, outhouses are legal. Yep. So there's ways around it. It's like, yeah, you can't. And who said that they can't come home because of the septic? You know what I mean? They can all be done easily. people are making a big deal because they don't want it done. You know?
You know,
Yeah.
guys, you gotta remember the people have been living like this. They were living like this. Eric went to, we know he went, he said it, he went to APS or Protective Services 3 times. 3 times. And what was it that took them away? What was the last thing that he claimed that finally took them away? ABUSC by BJ.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Because that's the way I saw it.
Yep.
Hey, Susan, apparently everybody tells lies. Larry tells lies. Everybody's lying, apparently.
Except Eric. See, Robert, the legal facts of power of attorney are not being stated correctly here. I've tried to correct the truth about them. It doesn't seem no one wants to know the truth about power of attorney. What is it, Robert? I haven't seen your comment. But yeah, you know, but I mean, again, with the negative Nancy here, up here. Oh, their home has to be ADA approved. Who told you that, Marilyn? Who told you? The state of West Virginia. You got inside information, Marilyn? You said you never met Eric. And you said Eric's mom died at 80 years old in 2023. You seem to don't have your facts straight there. But now she seems to know that the state of West Virginia says that they have to have ADA approved. That's what Eric told you. All you're doing is repeating everything Eric ever said.
Well, Sonny said it too. Sonny said it too. So I mean,
you know how easy. Yeah, you know how easy that is. Do you know how easy that is? Like I said, my husband died. He was sick. We had to get all that shit. It took us about a week. You know what I mean? You get the bars in the bathroom. You get the, you get the shower chair. You get the, the grips. You get the, little ramps or whatever you got to do. Nancy, it's not a big deal.
Please don't do that. Don't put that in the chat.
What?
She said that Patrick is a PEDO.
Yeah, you can't say that. He hasn't been convicted. You know what I mean? It's the expended after Hurricane 3. It dealt with them homes that had cars on the roof and a foot of sludge in them. They were all repaired, mold. Exactly. Theirs can be fixed. Theirs is the easy one. And anybody who says it can't be fixed, you're either talking out your rear end or because nobody's been there. If you've been there, and you have the expertise to say, hey, this house, listen, it wasn't condemned. And I'm going to tell you right now, like I told Toddy earlier, the house, listen, if it had black mold, they would have had Larry and Betty get removed out of there. Okay, they wouldn't be in there if there was black mold.
I said that. Mm-hmm. I said that if somebody got that in the chat, Kathy and I did talk about that.
Yeah. They would not let Betty and Larry stay there if there was a black mold issue. And all you do is gut the place. You just go in there and gut the place. And if the new floors need to be replaced, you do it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it just takes money. That's all. And with the money that's been pissed away, they could have had a whole trailer park over there across the road. They could all have their own trailers by now. You know what I mean?
So yeah. Carla, he did put out Pam 813 is writing to Carla. If Eric paid, he would have put out a video. He did actually say that like Kathy said, he said that the Whitakers were going to go to their lawyer to get money, right? Didn't he put that out on his own channel?
On Thanksgiving.
Yep. So maybe they didn't accept the money. I don't know. But Larry, told Kathy that, he wanted people to know that they did not get paid and that rumor is going out there and it's not true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So, and that was on Thanksgiving. I don't know how many, a few weeks ago. But
no, when you spoke to him, that wasn't on Thanksgiving. That was today.
No, I'm talking about Eric put that video out. Remember, it was Thanksgiving. Okay. He was frying a turkey or whatever.
Yeah, the last thing we just talked about was, you talking to Larry. I didn't want people to come in later and catch that part. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, no, the house is doable. They just,
I mean, nobody's helped fix up the inside. I mean, so what? Picking up stuff in the yard. I mean, how did that help? Giving them a vehicle. How does that help? Is none of this is helping get the family back. Was it a lie when someone said the mobile home was full of black mold? Well, I tell you, if it was, they wouldn't be staying there. They would be forced to leave. So, and listen, I've been in houses a lot, especially the lake homes. I'm going to tell you, the lake homes, they get mold. And if they're right on the lake, I've been in their basements. I personally have taken care of the mold. You bleach it down, and then if it's in the walls, you tear out the sheetrock. You just tear it out. You gut it. You know, and so I don't know. Who can we believe about anything? All we really know is the footage that's been taken there. Yeah, it's a mess. Sometimes it's messier than other times, but you know what? They've lived like that for generations, and it's never been a problem.
Tiny Steading, I don't know who anybody's attorneys are.
Mm-mm.
I don't know who anybody's attorneys are as far as the
I don't know.
Timmy Lorraine and Timmy Lorraine and
Yeah, because I suppose maybe the state gets them a guardian ad litem or something. I don't even know. I don't know how it works. I've never been through it, but I think they get assigned an attorney or some representative of some
somebody
kind.
representing them. But guys, I want you to remember something. Timmy was coached, and he was the only he's the only verbal one out of the three of them. And he was coached, and he goes into this brand new environment where he's just been coached about how BJ ABUSE D'd him. Okay? Not that she did. Not that she did, because we don't know that. Let's be real. We don't. And Patrick has always said that if that happened, he would beat her. So, I mean, and 1 minute, I know he said one thing and then he said something else. You know, that's really sad to do that to somebody, because either which way you lied on this woman, you know, and nobody deserves that. But
yeah, well, but
them. But anyway, what I'm saying is, you know, we can't determine, and we're not. How do you judge that? How do you do that? I don't know, Kathy. You go ahead.
I'm just reading the comments. None of the hoarders got like, and yeah. So listen, if anybody was being, hurt in that house, somebody would have been arrested. Nobody's been charged with any type of mistreatment with anybody. So there's no evidence that anybody's been, hurt.
That's right. Absolutely. There has been no evidence of that. And yet half of the people, and I'm not talking here, maybe, have already been convinced that this woman is responsible for the family being broken up. She wasn't. She'd been there the whole time. The people responsible were the two people that were there. And I really do blame Eric. I wish Patrick would have caught that in time. I don't think that he really wanted the breakup of the family. I really don't. But I think Eric went there with the intention of making money. And the breakup of the family was just the way he left them. See, I did them a favor, just like he said. I did that. I put them in a better situation, much better situation. You don't know. And then he started talking about how dirty Ray was. All to defend himself, he brought down Ray. But he coaxed Timmy, and they went there. So whatever Timmy told these people that might be, let's say that they are protecting from BJ. What if BJ didn't do anything? I mean, we've seen video of BJ reaching for something and Timmy not flinching. That says something.
Right.
We see her communicate with him. That says something. We're just taking something on somebody's word because what they tried 2 times before didn't work. So all of a sudden, the ABUSE comes into play, and it probably came up to play something like this. Has BJ ever put hands on you? Well, when the dog bit me, or when I, you know what I mean? because that's the only time that everybody has honestly agreed with.
And if it was bad enough where they had to be removed because of BJ, she would have gotten charged.
Yeah, why did they let her stay? I said that at the get-go. Why did she
Yeah.
get to stay and they have to leave?
Right, because isn't she going to go after the others now? You know what I mean?
Well, not
No,
just
she
that,
would.
but how do you penalize them and not her?
Right. Yeah, so she's never been charged. Believe me, I look at these court dockets at least once a week. I check people, see if anybody's been arrested over there and all that other stuff, which is why I catch things. But no, she's not been charged with anything about that. So I think if it was severe enough that people had to be removed, well, she would have been charged, probably arrested. It would be on a court docket. And I told you guys, I looked through her into every single thing that she's ever done, and she's never been arrested for that. And so all of a sudden, when they're in their late 40s, this behavior is going to start. It just doesn't make any sense.
Florida life in the sun. You're exactly right. That's where they're buried. They have their own little cemetery.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got all that taken care of. But he was acting, they never had a ID or a social security card. They've never been to the doctor. Are you kidding me? Larry has been driving Betty, Lorraine, and Timmy to the doctor every single month. They say it right in the videos more than once because Timmy's had a heart attack as if just a few years ago. Lorraine had a heart attack. Betty's had a heart attack. So they have to go to the heart doctor and get their heart medicine every month. And even Lorraine will show you she got her blood drawn. But they said, but yeah, Larry's has to drive them to the doctor every month to get their refills and their meds. So yeah, it's not like he's acting like he just found them out in the forest like Jane Goodall. You know what I mean? Like, look what I found. Look, they know how to reach for things. Like, yeah, okay, offered them chips and she took them. Like,
right.
No,
yeah, no, right. You're right.
They've actually they got their shit together more than a lot of families because A, they watch out for each other. B, they go to the doctor regularly. C, they've all been properly buried with really nice funerals and the whole nine. So they didn't need any of this stuff from Eric. They didn't need social security. Why social security cards? Like, I haven't even pulled mine out. I haven't seen it in decades. Who even needs that anymore? But he needed it. If you want guardianship, you got to get all that stuff. That's the only reason he wanted all those things. Trying to make it sound like he's doing them a favor by getting all their paperwork that he needs to go down to Robert Dunlap's office, Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I haven't been asked for my social info.
No. Yeah, Sarah said, yeah. And Ray was trying to explain to Mark what was going on. You know what I saw yesterday? I'm going to put it in one of the videos coming up. I saw Ray get on a bicycle. They said, come on, Ray, get on the bicycle. And Kenny pulls the bicycle. Says, get on it, Ray. And Ray got on the bicycle, and he's going up and down the road. He wouldn't get off of it. Yeah, they're not idiots. You know what I mean? They've lived a life. They know how to ride bikes. They know how to cook for each other. They've managed just fine without anybody interfering. Yep. Right. Yeah, you're right. Hold on a second. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, their families, I don't even know how old the parents would be, but like generations have lived on that property just fine. Like Kenny said, even the parents' house was just like this, okay, for many decades. You know what I mean? They all raised up like that. Yeah, their house is messy too. They never got anybody taken away. So what? The house is messy. Some people live like that. But those are usually the homes with the most love. I mean, the messy ones for some reason. I've seen it. But can anybody deny that there was any lack of love in there? You see nothing but love, especially in Mark's videos. Now, when Eric came around, the more he came around, the more stressed out they were.
They started division. There was have you ever heard Timmy be so hateful? I mean, Timmy.
No.
I just put up a video. I guess it last night. It was a short video, and I played some of Mark latest clips, and you see how even Timmy lit up when Mark came. I mean, you saw that.
Because Mark compensated them very well. You know, yeah, it's people say Mark
Not
made
only
money.
that,
Well,
but he respected them. He respected
all of them. Told them how beautiful they were, how well they all got along, and just compliments and compliments, and gave them very well. They're very well compensated, and so yeah, all of them were just excited to see him. Yeah. Well, I would think that if there was a problem like that, Red, that they would have told him. And as a matter of fact, remember when they came up to get him, what did they say? We're going to take him out and get him checked. Well, yeah, they just never came back. But we haven't heard anything. There hasn't been any charges. Everybody keeps saying it's the house, but you know, I haven't heard anybody say it was that they were being mistreated. You know, so yeah, I mean, people, and we don't know. None of us are there.
The problem with all of this is nothing has been done to allow them
Right.
to come home. That's right.
Right.
Because nobody has helped them. Nobody's helped
Right.
them.
There's been one after the next after that, and nobody's like focused on, hey, what do we need to get the family back?
Here you go. Here's a great thing. I don't know if you read it because there's another live chat going on. Unfortunately or unfortunately. So Anders 100 wrote, Kathy, none of the hoarders got locked up by APS for months, did they? Worse houses than Betty. Absolutely not. And that's a great point. So all of a sudden people get locked up because they're hoarders.
Yeah, it's just and if anything, the county or the social workers or whoever the hell's involved, they're gonna try to get you a dumpster, try to empty out your house. You know, they're gonna do something that's, you know, to correct the problem. You know what I mean? They're not like, oh, your house is messy. You got to go. You get locked up. You get out of here. You can't see each other anymore. So no, yeah, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, they can say, hey, it's, you know, it's not good enough for them, but I don't know. If it was too bad, they wouldn't have left anybody, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, how do they decide that those people's lives are more worth the other people's lives? You know, it's not by age because the other two are senior citizens too.
Yeah.
Did they give Betty the opportunity? Betty said, "Nope, I'm going to hang out." I mean, you know, the thing is that what we do know is that the family's split up. That's all we honestly know, right? I mean, to be honest, that's what we honestly know.
Yeah, and you know, most people don't have outside pressure from 100 different phone calls. Like Eric told everybody, oh, you know, if you find it in your heart, you should call or whatever. They had hundreds of phone calls, so they almost had no choice but to take them because all these people, I don't know how many people called. What they say?
That's why, Robert, right there. There's the answer to your question, Toddy. What is the reason that they took them then? Because Eric created an urgency. And I've been saying that. And that's why I say some of us are responsible for this. I'm not calling anybody out because I don't think anybody did this out of anything. And it doesn't matter. This is the result of it. Okay. So let's do something positive. That's all we're saying. And they need support right now. That's all that was asked for. Was can we just try to clarify some things? And one of the things Larry wanted Kathy to clarify was that he did not get paid and he doesn't want that rumor out there. That's what he said to you. Am I wrong?
No, that's what he said. He didn't. He heard that people are all saying that he got 50,000 or something like that, and he said, we didn't get any, we didn't get a dime. We haven't seen a dime, he said, from Patrick or Eric. So no, they haven't gotten a dime, not any. But yeah, you know, if you, you know, bum rush the adult protection with hundreds of phone calls and everybody saying, oh my God, this is terrible. They
And then you have
it,
people, and excuse me, and then you have somebody who's mentally challenged that was coaxed
yep.
into saying that they were ABUSED'd, and we saw those videos. Now, come on, we got to admit what we saw in those videos too. Right?
And yep, and why do you think Eric kept taking him for a week at a time and a week at? Because that's how long it takes to coach somebody and get the story straight. You know what I mean? Listen, if he just picked him up and brought him to Little Caesars or bowling and dropped him back off, he wouldn't have been able to do it. I believe that's why he kept him, to get him used to being with Eric, and also to you can convince a child in a custody case that mommy's a bitch and she hurts people, and you can talk a kid into that.
She did. She's never been called a bitch. He never spoke like that about her.
I know.
And Chris McGowan, excuse me, I'm sorry, Chris McGowan, I've never seen her admit to hitting him. Never once, except for when about the dog incident, and it was by accident to get the dog away. I've never seen her admit to that. So if you could show me that clip, that's cool. And I don't mean to insult you, it shouldn't be the clip of her beating her dad on the porch, because we know that that's AI, guys.
Yeah, that was AI. Some people believe that. Did you see what she took off at? And in fact, if you look at that, it's so AI, a bad AI, and Larry got a big smile the whole time as he's taken down. Yeah, thank you, Brooks and Gardens. I really appreciate that, and I love your name. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, and Marshmallow said you could tell Timmy was so tired. He was rushed place to place, and he wasn't used to it. No. And he wanted to go home so many times. Yeah.
He never slept alone. He never slept alone. And how could somebody expect to sleep in a strange place with somebody you just met? Really? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
And sleep in their own bed when they've never even slept alone. Think about that. Just you guys think about that. Okay? And listen, Chris, I'm not saying that BJ, you're saying BJ ain't that bad. The state don't see it that way. Okay. Okay. But I didn't say, listen, I said I don't think she's hit them. She's got a drug problem.
Right.
We all have, I think. I worked in that field, and I think everybody has been affected by somebody that they love or somebody in their family that has had a drug problem.
Yeah.
Half the world would be taken away. Half the world would be taken away.
Yeah. Yep. I think it was just a lack of, an advocacy for Betty and Larry. Nobody's advocating for them. Yeah, I mean, they
right. So I'm sorry, because I'm reading the comment, and this is a point that I did a video that showed that BJ was helping Ray out of the chair in the background, and it took some effort, but you could see that she was trying to help. There's a video I put out. You saw that with it's not even on them, but they're in the background, and she's trying to get him out of the bed, and she's trying to help him. And there's a lot of reasons why I'm sure she just doesn't want him laying there like that. You see that. We haven't seen her hit anybody, and we've not seen anybody be afraid of her. Until Eric came, and it wasn't even right away then. It was afterwards. That's what I'm saying, guys. Please think. Please think. And if some of you called, listen, I don't think you called to be mean or nasty, and we're not calling anybody out. But we're saying the same voices that made them go away could be the same voices that bring them back.
Yep.
Why can't we try that?
For sure. If it's a giant crowd of people, and then a lot of those people have regretted doing that. Well, you can call and say, wow, I was fooled. That might not help at this point, but still, there's power in numbers, you know what I mean? And if nobody is paying attention, they'll probably stay there the rest of their life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I want to address Reddit. Yeah, if we don't bring attention to it and keep talking about it, yeah, they're going to be
Right.
forgotten. And
Right.
uh-uh.
And yeah, and coincidentally, the person who wants them to stay where they're at is telling everybody not to talk about this anymore.
That's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, wait, what? No. No, you got it. No, the more noise we make, the better chance they have. Yeah, if everybody just goes away and goes on to the next thing, well, you know, listen, a crowd of people put him in this, you know, not just Eric, but yeah, he instigated this with people, but yeah, nothing's been helpful.
And I think he manipulated people by creating a sense of urgency.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually was showing when he was out on the deck that one time. He was motioning like the boyfriend or somebody was holding Timmy down, and then with the other hand, he was showing how he was beating him with the shoe. Like the story turned from throwing a shoe at the dog and hitting Timmy into holding him down and wailing on him with the shoe. And remember, you guys, how many times did Eric keep saying it was BJ's ex-boyfriends? Do you know that BJ's been with Nelson for 19 years now? 19. Okay, so when was his boyfriend? Back in the 90s? She hasn't had an ex-boyfriend there. But I've seen him. He was in the videos back with Mark, and they said at that time they had been together, I don't know, 18, 17 years or something. It's been a few years since then. He's always been in the videos in the back. You just didn't notice him. Nelson was there. And I don't even know if he's been, I don't even know. Some people are saying he's not deported. So I don't know if he's deported or not. Who even knows if he was illegal? Maybe he was legal. I don't know. But I'm not even sure he's been deported. Who even knows? That's what everybody was saying. That's why I said it appears he's been. But I haven't seen any solid proof. Now some people say, no, he's still there. But nonetheless, they've been together for a long time. I saw a picture of them a lot younger looking. I mean, from like 10 years ago. So they've been together a long time. So when was these ex-boyfriends hurting Timmy? You know, back in the 90s?
Hillbilly, I just want to say that we know that Larry and Betty also claimed that they were blackmailed.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, to say this.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what about that? Should we forget that?
Yeah, yeah.
Ready, so think about it. Okay, so and I hear you, Ready. So think about that. If this whole thing was created by Eric, right? Because there was we didn't hear about any abuse the whole time when Mark was there. I mean, he was there for a lot longer, spent a lot more time with them as a family, spending time in the house with them as a family. He never mentioned anybody being scared of anybody. He saw the interaction, we saw the interaction, but because somebody said something, and you guys know that he went to APS twice and couldn't get the separation, but it wasn't until he screamed the abuse allegations. And we know that Betty had said, and Larry too, that they were forced, he was blackmailed.
Yeah, that's, and you know what? That was on a recording. They didn't even know they were being recorded. And they're saying, well, they told us to say that or we wouldn't get the house or whatever. They didn't even know they'd be recorded. So not like they were staging that, you know what I mean? How many times have they said, well, we had to, Eric said we had to.
So we can't just call BJ somebody that hits and believe Timmy when we actually saw videos of Timmy being coached. Come on, please.
Yeah, he actually had videos, and that's why he had them for a week at a time, another week at a time. It takes time to manipulate somebody's mind like that, convince them they've been abused. As a matter of fact, think of this. When Patrick sat Larry down in a chair, Larry did not know he was being recorded. Remember, I made a video about it. Patrick's sitting there trying to convince Larry that BJ's been hurting Timmy. And Larry was saying, what are you talking about? If I knew anything was done, I would have done something about it. He was confused. Everybody's confused. Like, he said, well, you should have known about it. He said, I didn't know nothing was happening. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, let me just tell you something, Reddy. I mean, he supposedly, because she's saying, I never ever heard Ray went since the snake bite. So talk about the doctor thing. I'm behind, you're ahead. But I'm catching the ones we haven't seen. So, um,
Yeah,
what are
okay,
they supposed to do for he has arthritis in his knee? What can
right.
you do for arthritis in the knee? I know. I mean, like, I'm serious. What
Hmm.
can you, I have arthritis. What can you take Tylenol or
And
ibuprofen?
and speaking of that, it's funny because in one of the videos from Mark, um, BJ is in. They said get Ray, and she said, "Wait, I'm putting the knee, the cream on his knee." This was 3-4 years ago. BJ was in there putting the cream on his knee, and then they were giving Ray Advil. So yeah, I mean, what more can you do? Yep, I've done a lot of videos about all this stuff. How does your friend? Okay, um, oh, not talking to me, but yeah, this is what I had to do when my husband had cancer and he was dying. We had to get a shower chair in there, okay, with suction cups on it, a shower chair. We already had a hose with the thing, and yeah, we had to get we gotta get handrails. We had to get bed rails so he didn't fall out of bed. We had to get an adjustable bed so he could, sit up. They helped us with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff they didn't. Um, I can't remember. I don't know. But whatever they told us to do, I did it. I was by myself. I went and got this stuff. I mean, it wasn't a huge deal. Nobody needs a handicap ramp, but if they ever do, that's not hard to do either. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Hey, let me ask you a question, Hillbilly. What do you think Lorraine thinks of Eric now?
yeah. Why she's saying she liked Eric? I'll tell you what. You watched the last video where they said that the Amish agreed to do the deal, and this might even it's gone now, but I have it where they have John Mast standing there. I just did a video about it. Eric and John Mast are saying, "Hey, Lorraine, the Amish should agree to build your house," and they're right up in her face. And John Masters or Robert Masters saying, "Come on," to Lorraine. They wanted a big reaction out of Lorraine, and you can see Lorraine took her cane and she pushed him away and pushed him away. Watch that video. Pushed him 3-4 times away with her cane. Didn't want nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what I saw? There's a video back where they were with Mark and they were at the bowling alley, and Lorraine had a belly laugh. I've never seen her laugh like that. A belly laugh, laughing so hard. I thought, wow, I never seen her laugh like that. You know what I mean? But no, you watch the difference between Mark being over there. She told Mark, "Come on in." And then she even you can hear her say, "Hi, Mark." And then on the video they said, "Wow, Lorraine can speak sometimes." And she said, "Yeah, when nobody's around, she speaks pretty good, or she really likes you." And she was speaking. She told Mark, "Come on, Mark." And then she said, "Hi, Mark." And then she said, "Come on in." And she followed it and held the door open for him. She invited Mark. They loved, because he always left them better off than they were. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And that's not happened with anybody yet. Nobody's left them better off than they were since him. And I can see why he wanted to keep people away. He's telling everybody, "Don't go there. Don't go there." Yeah. Well, after that, she didn't even like the chips more. He'd shove the chips in her face. She would take them, of course, to get them out of her face, and she would just put them aside behind the pillow like, yeah, whatever. I think they were talking amongst themselves, and I think that, they, were catching on. She knows what they're saying.
Said Timmy gave him the finger the first time he showed
up. Yes, he did.
He loved him at the end of it because the last video I put up where he's at the porch and he's ready to hug him and stuff now. So,
Yeah, no, at the very first time he did, he said, Jason pulled the gun on him, and he had to explain that he's, and then he said when he pulled, he's talking about the first time. He said Ray had his pants around his ankle and he was kicking a trash can, and he said it was crazy, and Timmy, gave him the finger when they pulled away. That was the first visit because they didn't know who this guy was. But guess what? The second visit, the third visit, every visit after that, they loved him more and more and more.
Exactly.
And you know that when he's gone. In fact, I just saw a video last night when I was preparing for the clips, where they said everybody. I heard it more than once. They were saying, "Oh, Jason was asking when's the next time you're going to be here." Oh, Timmy was asking when you're going to be here again. They're all asking what. They're saying we're so glad to hear you. They've been asking. Everybody's been asking when you're coming back. There, So yeah, there's no doubt that they love him. Yeah.
Well, remember that actually, Mark. When Mark came up, Larry walked right up to him, and BJ was there, and BJ apologized to him. And you remember Larry walked up to him, and Larry put his hand out and said, "I want to come up to you and say I am sorry. I am sorry." Remember that? They had true respect for him.
Yep. He said, "I'm so sorry for what happened. I want to tell the whole world, you and the whole world, that we're sorry." Then BJ said, "Yeah, I'm sorry too." And Mark went over, patted her on the back, and said, "I'm very forgiven. We'll talk about this." And he was there multiple times after, and he was there. He did another GoFundMe after that. Just did a video on it. He did another GoFundMe. He did not hate the family. He did not walk away. He's been there. He did another video a year ago. Right now, a year ago, he did a video when the trailer burned down, and he did another GoFundMe, had that cleaned up, and he would have been back in spring, but guess who was there? And I noticed, listen, right in front of me, right here, I have it in my hand. I got a new timeline about the GoFundMes. It's right in my hand. I'm working on a video. And I noticed as I'm looking at the date, 7/4, 7/21, let's see. And so I'm noticing that he's coming, and he even said, "I come every spring and every fall because you guys it's too cold in the winter." And he does. He was coming like every 4 to 5 months. The whole time until this spring, he didn't show up because guess who was there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was right after his girlfriend died, and then they showed up, and they said, "Oh, Mark gave us his blessing and all this stuff." Well, and he's mourning the loss of his girlfriend. So anyway, they came in probably about the time Mark would have been coming back in the spring, in May. But now you got Patrick, and then you had Eric, and so he's not going to get involved. You know what I mean? In fact, he like somebody said in the chat, he interviews lots of people in poverty in that area. And Tennessee, they just came from Tennessee, and they were in Kentucky. They were all over. They do all kinds of people. And he says, I got many projects. I don't need to keep coming back to them, but he likes them, and they like him. So, yeah, it was frequent. I've noticed a pattern of every 3-4 months he came. But no, this year he didn't show up because Patrick and Eric were there. I can only imagine what he thinks. Yeah, Whitaker's was a gold mine for him, but Mark was also a gold mine for them. It went both ways. You know what? You could say the same with Eric and Patrick. Yeah, Whitaker's were a gold mine for Eric and Patrick, but it didn't go both ways. They weren't compensated. So yeah, I do believe that Mark. They probably were a gold mine.
I'm reading something in the comments, and it's weird because 2 people brought up Timmy attempting to call 911 is concerning. And that's what Grace.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Vanita, I think Eric coaching him to call 911 on BJ. I never thought about that. I never thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would he be calling 911? Why was that brought up so many times in the video?
Right.
That he kept saying, "You're not going to call 911, are you? You're not going to call 911, are you?"
Again,
I never
he
even
said.
thought about that until I'm reading in the comments.
Yeah, because according to Eric, Eric was sitting there one night, and all of a sudden he saw flashlights shining through the window, and he said they're pounding on the door. He went to the door, and it was the police, and they said, somebody called 911. He said, I didn't. He said, the cop said, is anybody here with you? And Eric said, no. And then they said, are you sure? Because somebody called 911. And Eric said, oh yeah, Timmy, there's somebody here. But at first he said no.
Mm-hmm. So Hillbilly, I know you kind of came in late, but Kathy was returning a call from BJ, and Larry answered the phone, and Larry asked Kathy after they spoke for a minute, however long they spoke, that we tell people exactly what he wanted us to share, what he wanted Kathy to share. So we're talking about the Whitakers tonight because we were asked to. So that's what we're doing. And what you heard, Hillbilly, because I know you came in late, is a clip of Betty saying something. It was an old video clip that somebody took the audio to, because Betty, according to Kathy, who spoke to Larry, said that Betty's been sick in the bed where they're at in Odd, in her home, for the past few days. She did not go out of town. She was not on a live stream. So that's what, and I know you came in late, but that's what was determined before you came in. And that's why we did this tonight. And that's why it says, how could somebody be in two places at one time? So just so you know that. And I know I'm behind in the comments, but I'm catching stuff that some people have missed. Yeah, somebody wrote, you're behind, Hillbilly. Okay, so now we got you straightened out. now you know why, at least. Now you know why.
Yeah, because I talked to him myself, and he's got no reason to lie that Betty's sick in bed.
So listen to this. So you guys, this is really Aquatech. This is brilliant, Kathy, seriously. And he has a course on Dad Talk's website on how to set up custody being taken in court, and taking lessons for people to learn how. Yeah, because of the dad thing.
Listen, I did
custody.
I did a video on that. I did a video on it. He runs a course called like Custody University, or what's it called? I did a video on it. He's got a step-by-step course how to take custody out of somebody, and it's prove this, bring them here, do this. Yeah, I did a video on it. It's called, what's it called? Something like Custody University or something. I can't remember.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and yeah, he's actually, and you get a certificate when you're done. You got to pay like, I can't remember what it was, $50. I don't know if it's for each course or whatever it was, but yeah, he runs a course how to obtain custody of somebody, and you get a certificate when you're done. Yeah. What was it called? I forgot.
It doesn't.
I've done a lot of videos, man. Yeah.
Families and break them apart course.
Yeah. It's step-by-step how to get custody. Yeah, and it had a certificate. If you pay and listen to the thing, yeah, and he'll send you a certificate. I even joked. I said, "Oh, did he bring his own certificate into court that day?" And look at me. I run the certificate, or I run the University of Custody, or what? I can't remember what he called it. It's on his Dad Talk. Yeah, I did a video breaking that down. Like, wait a minute. He runs a step by step. He's got actually a university how to get control and custody of somebody. And when I went over it, it's the same exact thing that he did. I mean, he followed his own script.
Playbook. Yeah, he followed his own playbook. Yeah, I didn't see that video, Kathy. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yep.
So if I
that's a fact.
One other person in this watching this wouldn't have known that either. So
yeah,
I'm glad
probably
that was mentioned.
Yep. Yeah, Paige said yes, it had a certificate. Yeah, he even had
oh my God.
A graduate. Oh, and guess what? You're supposed to bring that into court with you. Yeah. And I bet he brought one in for his own, signed his own, and brought it. Look, I got the certificate. I'm like, wow, wow, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Jenny. I thought the same thing. I would love to hear that 911 for you, that 911 call, right? Where
Yeah.
Timmy's calling for help or whatever. And then he said, "Oh, I'm teaching him how to call on BJ." So remember, when if BJ does anything, call 911. He's, you know what I mean? But yeah, somehow Timmy called 911 on him. Yeah. Thank you, Marshmallow, for coming in tonight. Yeah. Yeah, at first they said it was free, but then 5 minutes into it, it says $50. And I don't know if there was like 5 courses. I don't know if it was 50 each, but it was at least 50. Yeah, crazy. Love to hear it, just to see it. Yeah. It's on my channel. It's something university or something like that. Academy or something. It's a cheesy little thing. We might have called, Timmy might have called 911 on Eric because he wanted to go home. Yeah, I thought of that too. I thought he wanted to go home. Maybe he's calling for help, you know. But I would love to hear that.
Because here's the thing, somebody also wrote in the comments that we didn't know how he actually treated Timmy when he was alone with him. And I don't mean anything actually. I just mean like, okay, the video shut off. Get in the room already. Just turn on the TV. Just go. Like, you don't know. First of all, how did Timmy feel about going to a strange place?
Right.
And sleeping alone? When he never, I mean, to be honest, we know that he shared a bed with his mom. We know that because it's mentioned in a Mark Leda video.
Yep, and yeah, I just saw that one. He said, "Who sleeps there?" And it's a big bed in the back left. He said, "That big bed, that's where Timmy and Lorraine slept." He's always slept with her, probably since a baby. And
so imagine him going to a place where he just knows somebody. And I mentioned this earlier, but for the people that are coming in later, going to a place where he just really met somebody, right? And all of a sudden he's sleeping. He's supposed to sleep alone for the first time, probably in his whole life.
And he contradicts himself
in a strange place. Yeah, and he right, because of course he wasn't going to sleep alone.
No, and because he said, Timmy wants to go home. He wants to see his mom. The next 5 minutes later, he'd say, Timmy didn't even want to go home. You know, he kept flip-flopping, if you notice.
Right.
On the same video. 1 minute, yeah, Timmy, got to bring him home. Lorraine wants him, and Timmy really wants to go home. He wants to see his mom. That's fine. That's why he's made a joke. Oh, baby mama wants her kid back. You know, he's reluctant to drop Timmy off, but now Timmy wants to go home. Well, 5 minutes later, he said, Timmy didn't even want to go home. Which is it? And then Timmy's in the shower singing, Mom. It sounded to me like he was crying. Mama, mama. Oh, he's singing about my mom. Nana Carol or something.
Oh, that's crazy. Come on. That's crazy.
Yeah, I made a video about that. Yeah. He said,
hit the like button for Kathy. Hit the like button for
Kathy.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yep. Not taking side, that's the problem. No, and you know, Chris, I agree. I never tell anybody, don't go over there or this, whatever. No, listen, I'm nice to everybody as long as you're not out of control. I know some people are over at other channels. I have no problem with that. No problem. Because you need to decide to yourself who you want to watch. Who do you want to sit down and watch? And if you prefer me, that's fine. Maybe you prefer somebody else over me. That's fine. We all have different, we all have different styles and different things that we like. So, yeah, I don't care whose channel you go to, guys. My channel's here. My information's here. You take it or leave it. I'm trying to help. I have no desire for drama, inter-channel drama, inner fighting, all that bullshit. Because
I'm right there with you.
I got too many things to do. I want to stay focused on helping the family, and all that is just a distraction. And all it does is those people want views. The ones that want drama, they want to fight, they want to pick fights, they want to threaten people. They need views. They want views.
Yeah, it shouldn't be about other content creators, in my opinion. But if that's the
No.
best they got, that's the best they got. That's why, sometimes I have to crack hard. I don't want my chat to turn negative. I don't
Right.
want, and it'll turn negative quickly. So,
Mhm.
I don't mind criticism. And maybe, listen, in all fairness, there might be things that I get wrong. But, I usually put people in a timeout. And if I get it wrong, and I've done
Right.
exactly what you did as well, I've hit the wrong thing at times, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yep.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. Normally, my policy is just to time you out, give you a warning. Grace knows the rules. She gives you a warning, and then if you don't, then she'll time you out. And if you still want to cause trouble, then you get blocked. But it's we don't just block. Oh, she don't agree with Kathy. I'm going to block her. No, I want it's okay for people to have different opinions. I've learned things from people with different opinions. So if we all follow the
she
exact
said
same
she was
thing, we
out of
wouldn't.
town, Chris.
Hmm?
She said she was out of town on my live stream. She wrote it in the comments. Elizabeth did say that Betty was out of town.
Yep, she did. And she was somewhere else, and she was sick, but she was somewhere else out of town. Yep, and she wasn't. She was at home last night. Yeah, Robert, you heard it. He was crying for his mom. Mom. Oh, he's singing for my mom. Like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is Timmy with Lorraine? I don't know. I hope they're together because, yeah, it's probably so hard on them right now.
The truth
Yeah,
is, we don't even know. Like, I don't even want to go by what I heard, because what I heard, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who honestly knows?
right. Because if nobody's allowed to call there, then how does anybody know anything? You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. It's healthy for people to have different opinions. Nothing would ever be done or invented or anything if everybody just stayed this exact same thought. It's great to have different, because you might have a piece of the puzzle that I don't, and vice versa. So, yeah, I like the conversation. If we don't agree, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so if I want wrong, I want to be. I've admitted things when I've been wrong. I admit it because I'm thinking, wow, that makes more sense than the truth. So, yeah, we can be wrong. What did I want to speak to BJ about? Well, that's, I guess, between us. But she, like I said, and I have got pictures of where she reached out to me, in case people want to think that I'm butting in their business. No, she came to me, and people on her support page. No, she just left the support page a few days ago. So up till a few days ago, she was on there for months in a private chat, and I was in there. Yeah, I brought it up. Yeah, well, I went to call her, but Larry answered. Mhm.
Yeah, that's what happened there.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to know. Yeah, I just these things weren't making sense, and I wanted to ask for myself since I was invited. Since she reached out to me and gave me her number, and I gave her mine. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was intruding at all, and they didn't feel like I was intruding either. Because I'm just want to get to the truth. Like, okay, was she on a live stream last night? Because it didn't seem like she was. So I asked him. I said, so is Betty out of town? He said, no, she's in the bed. She's really sick. Has she been out of town lately? No, she's been in bed for days. Was she on a live stream last night? He said, on what? I said, was she on the phone on a live stream? Was she on the computer or anything like? No, she hasn't been out of bed. She's sick. So no.
Chris McGowan, that's funny. He wrote, "They mad, I'm over here." Laugh out loud. Enemy territory. Laugh out loud. We got you, man. We got you.
Yeah, you're safe over here, okay? Because I ain't gonna. Nobody's gonna attack you over here.
We won't tell anybody you were over here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Thank you,
even
Robert.
even people that go to, I'm sorry.
No. Somebody was Robert Puckett says, I watch you two girls all the time. I love your guys' stuff. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how it's legal that you could take family members and not even let them have phone call. Even prisoners get a phone call, and they didn't. I mean, oh my gosh, they must be seeing how crazy the three are going without their family. Hand them the phone, let them talk, or do something. Give them a visit or something.
Work for them. Help. If all of these
Yeah,
people are saying reunification is the most important thing, then why hasn't anything happened in three months or 3 weeks
right,
or however long it's been? How come that hasn't happened immediately? If
right.
if reunification is the most important thing, then show us the action for it.
No, Sarah. Yeah, you're right. Have you started on my new calendar? No, I've been working on a timeline. I'm going to get to the calendar. I've had that calendar at least a month, but I have a timeline here about the that I was going to do. I got a great video coming up. It's just a lot of work. Last night about 2 in the morning, I'm like, man, I got to go to bed. I can't. I was going to start it, and it just a lot of preparation goes into the videos because I got to get all the clips and anyway. So yeah, social services. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're playing it safe. I think taking them out of the home was trying to play it safe with all these. What did they say? There was 100 phone calls or 60 or I don't even know how many, but they probably never had that many calls in their life down there. And they're on the first name basis with Eric. So how many times? How long had he been friends with the people down there that he's buying their lunch and filling their gas tank? And they don't need, he has, if I called adult protection, even if I called them once a week, I'd still say, hey, this is Kathy. You reached out to BJ first. And well, good. I'm glad you got the proof. How did I reach out, Roberta? By doing all the videos? How did I reach out? You have proof. We'll show the proof, Roberta. Because I was sent over there and they had a group going on over there with my videos and telling BJ that, hey, Kathy's fighting for your family. So I was told to go over there and I did. And then guess what? There's only one message on Messenger. The first message that came in was BJ saying, hey, Kathy, this is BJ. Can you please give me a call? And then that was my responses after that. And then I got it on my phone. So, yeah, I called out, reached out to her, and you got proof. Show the proof. I'm challenging you. Show how I've reached out to BJ besides doing all these. Roberta. Show it. Where's your proof? She reached out to me. And that's why I took a picture of it. Because I knew somebody like you was going to come in and say, no, you're bothering the fed. Nope, I got a picture of it. Very first messenger message is BJ saying, hey, this is BJ. Kathy, this is BJ. Yeah, so show your proof, Roberta. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that either.
Because we'll have trolls to come in here and try to discredit you.
Right.
That's not true, Amanda, but you can keep saying that.
What?
That I just up and blocked her. But listen, I don't care that people disagree, but don't be disrespectful to a panel guest because that's not nice. And don't incite negativity in the comments. So that's it. And when you're asked to please calm down or not go there, don't keep repeating yourself. So I mean, that's it. How can 3 be taken without a peep from anyone with no contact? That's what Reddy said. Great question. That is a great question.
Yeah. worker in contact with Eric should be investigated. I think so too. Because why are they? What he said? Hey, he didn't even have to say his name. Hey, yeah. He said the family's talking some bullshit. Can you come down here and tell them they're bullshit or something like that? I'll buy you lunch and pay your gas. They should sure we'll be on our way.
That's
He
right.
didn't have to, he didn't have to say. He didn't have to say this is Eric or why I'm calling. They were on a very friendly basis. And then he said when he was in court, he said that him and the judge connected because the judge is a part-time pastor, and his dad is a pastor, so they had that connection that his dad was a pastor and the judge is a part-time pastor. Yeah. Timmy is in the chat, says, huh? A fake Timmy, I'm sure. Huh? That's probably Patrick. Yeah. Our government wouldn't care or do anything. Too much scandal going on our state government. Yep. And I think that, I don't know, something is shady there. Something is shady to give Eric. And what did we say? Well, I'll show you when we get off of here. I'll post a text that the mom's encouraging him. You know what I mean?
So I have a question. So I want to answer this question. It's by Reddy, and it's all in caps. I don't understand how Betty isn't beating the door down or at the police station, because I think there's too many people telling her shit. I think that there's so much confusion that she thinks that people are working with her, and I think some of these people are not working with her or for her. So I think she thinks that, I think you and I disagree on this, but I think she gets manipulated very easily, because where does she learn anything when she lived her whole life on the porch?
Mm. Yeah,
So
they don't have.
I think she's just believing what everybody is saying, and just kind of, she doesn't know what to do. We don't know what to do. And I mean, we've been to school. What do? Guys in the comments?
Right.
So, I mean, imagine, what is she going to do? What does she do? She doesn't have any money. What does she do? You're welcome.
And she's got no experience in this. She does not have a college education. She doesn't have cable TV or internet. She can't even Google anything.
And I'm sorry, Paige, if there was a misunderstanding, because there was never any bad intent. So, sorry about that.
Yeah. They went out inside an ambulance. That's why I said they didn't kidnap them. Yeah, I'm sure they had to strap them down because they probably weren't going to go willfully. And just ask yourselves, guys, if you could ask Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine right now, where do you want to go? Where do you think they would say? Home.
I guarantee that. I guarantee you that. And Larry does want them back. And I'm pretty sure BJ does, but I don't. But I mean, you didn't speak to Betty. I'm sorry, I said BJ. Betty. Yeah, I know that you asked Larry point blank, do you want them to come home? And what did he say?
He said yes, of course he did. Yes. Like, that was a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Layla says, I was there, Kathy, and you're right. BJ was told in that group, I've been putting your vids everywhere since Patrick's house vid. Yes.
Yep, I see that.
I was told about the group. I went there, and there was everybody, encouraging. It was a group to encourage BJ, and it was a support BJ group. And I joined that group thanks to you guys, because you told me, hey, there's a group over there of people who are for BJ and want to encourage her. And so, yeah, I joined that group. And then I saw all my videos over there and people telling BJ about my videos. And she sent me a lot of people sent me stuff. Some people sent me bad stuff. And I said, thank you. Thank you. But guess what? I never put any of that bad stuff up. Because, some people say, oh, BJ's doing this and BJ's doing that. I said, thank you. I appreciate that. But guess what? Did you ever see me run over here and say, oh, look what I saw? Now, BJ's doing this and BJ's doing that. All them rumors that you guys heard BJ was doing with the, um, I don't know, with the van or whatever, whatever, all this stuff. Yeah, I saw that in the group, but I chose not to put that on my channel because I'm here to support her. And I don't even know if this stuff is true. Was she stealing propane tanks? I don't know. Did she borrow it? Did she bring it? I guess she brought it back. We don't know nothing about the propane tank. I said, well, thank you.
Okay, so Reddy, I wanted to, I want to address this. So again, we're back to Reddy. So if someone took my dog, I would stand outside until I got my dog back. I don't understand at all. Okay, but what if somebody's saying, if you do this, you're going to ruin it. If you do this, you're going to ruin it. Trust me. If you do this, you're going to ruin it. What about if somebody's saying that to Betty so that she doesn't know what to do? She's believing. What if that's the case? I'm not saying that is the case, but I mean, we do know that she said out of her own mouth that Eric extorted her, basically blackmailed her. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
because
so
somebody said,
why can't you be manipulated so easily to believe that she does something that it's going to ruin it for them? But I will block you if you want to be part of the club, Sarah. I'm joking.
Sorry, my dogs need to go. Come on, get in here. It was 27 below wind chill last night.
Oh my God.
17 below temperature, 27 below wind chill.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so they won't be out that long. I got one went out, two of them did a U-turn.
I don't blame them.
They're like, oh hell no, the door is so frosted you can't even see through it.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, it's pretty cold out. But yeah, anyway.
I'm ready to go to bed. I got to go to church in the morning.
I hear you. All right, we'll wrap it up. It's been 2 hours. Any last thoughts from the chat or from you or anybody before we close it down?
No. Well, here's a comment. Toddy, where Betty didn't have custody, guardianship, or power of attorney, maybe that's why Betty can't see them. Why would she have ever needed that for them? I mean, I don't know what she had since taking care of them all those years. I mean, I don't know. I really can't answer that. Nobody has power of attorney over me. Is it because somebody need to have power of attorney over them? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
and okay, so Roberta, who said she has proof that aren't you the one that said proof I reached out to BJ? Right, I did do a video, and I said I would love to talk to a Whitaker. BJ, I'd love to talk to you. Larry, Betty, because we haven't heard their side. I even said, Jason, I'll even talk to you. I need to talk to a Whitaker. Yeah, that was in an interview, for interview. You said, quite sure you asked on a live. No, it wasn't a live. It was a video that I put out. Does any of the Whitakers want to talk? Because we hadn't heard from one. And so, yeah, I put out a general invite. And yeah, so is that your proof that I tried to get a hold of her? No. I said, listen, none of the Whitakers, we've only heard one side of the story. We've never heard the Whitaker side, not once. And I said, that bothers me. I want to give the Whitakers a platform. If anybody wants to come up and tell your side, if you're a Whitaker, you've not been had a fair shake. If you want to come up and tell your side of the story, I'm here. That's my video. Is that me reaching out to try to get a hold of BJ recently? No, I did that video, I think, back in September. So if that's your proof that I'm trying to get a hold of BJ, no, I offered all Whitakers, any Whitaker, you've not had a platform, nobody's offered you a chance to speak. I offered my platform. That's it. So if that's your proof, yeah. And I'm glad she got a hold of me. Yeah, I would love to hear.
That's
Yeah,
not reaching out for some. That's, you know, I mean, if you had to be technical, but you weren't the one to call. You know what I mean?
no,
Like she put her number and she called you first. That was her reaching
yeah,
out to
and
her.
that was in November. That was 2 months later. Last month is when she reached out to me in November. I put that September, probably in September. I put out. I remember because I was still in my garden when that happened. You know, harvesting, and it's 27 below, and we're in December now. She reached out to me last month in November, gave me her phone number, wanted mine. We exchanged numbers. Okay, that was 2 months after that. She probably never even saw that video, to be fair. But
Well,
yeah,
Chris, she blocked a phone call from Justin. We know that because
hmm
I mean they were ready to call that, and
hmm
nobody they walked away and said that they didn't want to talk about the Whitakers anymore, only to go and talk about the Whitakers. So you know the truth is, I don't know the truth. That's the truth. I don't know the truth. Um, but I know what I saw, and I know
hmm
when he said, you know, I challenge you to do this, da 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 da, and all of a sudden you're not supposed to talk about the Whitakers anymore. She's somebody that's supposed to have something to do with CPS or APS, and she hasn't taken them anywhere. She told Kathy in the chat yesterday that she got paperwork on Tuesday. Just got the paperwork on Tuesday, and Kathy was well, what paperwork? What are you trying to do to help
hmm
reunite them? Because everybody's saying reunification, but she's been there a minute,
hmm
you know. So what
Well,
has she done?
and she said she thinks they're better off where they are. She says at best maybe they could get, you know, she wants somewhere in the middle. She doesn't want a home. She thinks they're fine there, you know, where she used to work and her friends are, but she wants them there. And she said, I don't want them home. She said, you know, I want them to be there, but get visits. So if is that the highest you're shooting for, is for them to get visitation, then you're probably not for the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you're definitely not Team Whitaker because you're making
No,
decisions for them.
right. Listen, the Whitakers want to go home. Larry and Betty want them home. So every single Whitaker wants to be reunited. So we're going to decide, no, you guys, she's better off if you're not. I mean, no, it's not for us to decide. They all want to be together. And so, yeah, to say, well, you know, maybe they could get visitations. Like, if that's the highest you're going to shoot for, then you're not, like you said, not Team Whitaker. I'm interested. Come on, at least try to get them home or find out why they're not coming home. But yeah,
Well, I don't know about that. What is that? CG Hannon at 9 o'clock wrote, I've been looking up if they can keep them from talking to their families. It says that Betty needs to call the ombudsman in the CPS office.
oh, where?
I don't know because my eyes are so dry. I have a heater here. And contact West Virginia Legal Aid. All right, T bro, I'll see you in the morning. So I mean, I don't know. I feel you,
Yeah,
Sarah. I feel you, Sarah. Um, so I don't. I mean, it'd be nice.
exactly.
It'd be nice to know. I mean, it would just be nice. It would. So everybody's saying legal aid helps with social services and stuff. So it'd be nice to have somebody there doing that. And I don't know how that's. I don't know.
Exactly. Now, Haniera says you wanted Whitaker's side without manipulation. That's exactly what I said. I said the only time we've ever seen anybody is when they're sitting next to somebody with yes or no questions.
Right.
I said, you want to? I'm going to give you a platform. If nobody will tell you what to say, we want to hear your side of it. That's what I did. And no, I'm not going to be sorry or take that back. I'll put out another video saying the same thing. I haven't changed my mind about that. Why shouldn't they have a chance to speak?
Absolutely.
Nope. So yeah, I wanted them to come on, have a fair shake, to have their side of the story. I don't know. Now somebody's saying, "Oh, we can't talk about them publicly." Like, okay, you know, yeah, yeah,
There's Kool-Aid in the corner.
yeah, yep. Yep. Just checking there. Well, thank you for hyping me. I appreciate that.
I'm ready
Yeah.
to go to sleep, my friend. I'm ready. I mean, like, I'm ready
All
to go
right.
to sleep.
Yep. All right. Well, very cool. I'm gonna say good night to everybody. Any last things? Okay. Anyway, well, I just want to thank you for coming up.
Thank you for having me.
Mhm.
For 3 hours. I'm ready to
Has
go
it
to
been 3
sleep.
hours? I don't have the
Yeah,
timer
yeah.
on here.
That's all right. But listen, I think that
Oh,
we got through a lot of stuff. I was
yeah.
able to talk to some of the people that are usually on my channel. Which when I say that, I know that we have cross subscribers, and you know, we should
Mhm.
all be like, I agree 1,000,000%. You know, that's what there's different channels for, and nobody's telling anybody
Mhm.
who to like, subscribe, and all that
No.
stuff too. This isn't that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I want people to go to look at different channels, and then look at me, and that's if you decide for yourself. We're all grown ups. Decide for yourself who you want to believe, because I'm just here to present the truth, what I feel is the truth, what I found, and like I said, everything for me is to help the Whitakers. So I know some people, some channels aren't. That's not their goal, is to help. And they might even say they help Whitakers, and then half an hour later they got Patrick on there laughing it up that he hasn't paid the Whitakers. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all I'm here for. So yeah, I have no problem with other people and their channels. I think everybody has a right to have a platform and a channel. If I don't like it, I can turn it off. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
Yeah. But
right.
anyway, all right. Well, thank you, Toddy, for coming on. I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here. Thank you for the people who did the super chats. I really appreciate it. Pray, all your support, all your wonderful comments, all your input. Even if I don't agree with it, I appreciate it. Unless you get, start to harass and throw the chat off and stuff. But
Right.
most of the time, even if you don't agree with me, you guys know, a lot of you in the chat, I've not agreed with you, and you've said you don't agree with me, but you're still here. I've not blocked you, and you haven't left, so I appreciate that. Even if you don't agree with me on things, you're still here listening, and I appreciate that, every single one of you.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
All right, cool. So let me figure out how to shut this thing off, and we will
All right.
say good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Good night, guys.
Good night,
Be
guys.
safe and stay warm. Kathy, be safe and stay warm.
I will. Thank you. You
I'm
too.
gonna go to sleep. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
All right.
All right, bye.
All right,
See you in
good night.
church, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye.